Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 27 deadline stream. Nice and simple week for me this week. I'm going to roll. No doubts about that whatsoever. There will be no panic at the deadline unless we get some last minute news, but I'm not really sure what that last minute news would be today. Like Man City don't kick off until 8, so it's unlikely we're going to find out about Haaland. He's going to start anyway, right? Pep said he's fully fit. So there's not really too much that could change my mind to roll, I don't think. I'd much rather have 2 free transfers next week, and the team was looking pretty good. So that is it. No panic, nice and calm, 2 hours ahead, hopefully. 1 year anniversary. Thank you very much. Thanks for what you do. How are you? I'm good. Yeah, I mean, Saturday morning, I got up a bit later, so my walk was a bit later. The team's looking good. Hope you're doing well too. Thoughts on Bowen? And yeah, I wouldn't sell Enzo. Oh, next game week. Okay. I wouldn't buy Gakpo, I don't think. I don't think Gakpo's a bad option necessarily, and I suspect he does keep starting. But I just think if, like, let's say Frimpong gets back and Szoboszlai goes into midfield, I just think at the moment Gakpo's more likely to drop out than Wirtz. Like Wirtz could go and play on the left and Salah on the right. So Thiago, yes. Gakpo, not so much probably. But that might change next week. I don't know what would. I mean, for that to change, I'd probably need an injury somewhere else, like an injury to another Liverpool attacker. But yeah, probably not for me right now. I hope Haaland ends up being the differential cap. He's not. He's going to be massively captain this week, to be honest. Like, Palmer is the most brought in player for midfielders. I can't get my words out. But, like, his ownership's still relatively low. It's not like he had a million transfers in. He's had, like, 300,000 or something. So, yeah. Where would I put Dallo on your benching headache list? Oh, see, I can't remember the list now. I suppose I could quickly look it up. Everton away, so probably like below Joachim Anderson, wherever Joachim Anderson was, like somewhere down that end of the list, not that high up. I guess he's got some attacking potential, but I'd probably just go for the DEFCON guys with similar or better fixtures. Don't have Haaland anymore. Let's say he gets 8 goals before the end of the season. That's 32 points plus bonuses, maybe up to 40. My midfield now should make that up. Okay, what if he gets 16 goals before the end of the season? And also, you don't need to, like, anyone that's... Yeah, by the way, it's fine if you want to sell Haaland. I'm not really trying to argue against that. But it doesn't really matter what he does for the rest of the season. It matters what he does when he's in our teams, right? Like, just because we've got him now doesn't mean we have to hold him till game week 38. Like, you might hold him for the double in 33, then get rid. Like, if Haaland's got a double in 33, are you really not going to bring him back in? He could have 2 doubles before the end of the season. So, yeah. I've got 2 free transfers and exact funds to do Timber and Guiu to Thiago and a Leeds defender. Already have Ekatike, but we'll have to bench Harry Wilson. Would you recommend? So, basically, Timber and Harry Wilson... or use 2 free transfers to get Thiago and a Leeds defender. Honestly, I think I'd probably roll. I really don't hate it because you're getting Thiago and he's just a really good pick for quite a while. I don't know. You're probably going to do... The thing is, I'm just not as in a rush to sell Arsenal players as everyone else seems to be. So you're kind of asking the wrong person almost. I think it's fine. I'm not sure I would do it. But it's justifiable, I would say. Sell Rice for Rodgers or Sharda. I honestly kind of want to buy Sharda next week, but I'm not sure I would buy him this week. Like, presumably, Sharda and Utara will play, but, you know, look what's happened with Collins. Like, Collins was absolutely nailed, then he misses a game, now he can't get back in. So, does Sharda definitely go straight back in following his suspension? Like, I think most people would say yes, but can anyone be 100% certain about that? I'm not sure you can. So, Rodgers, yes, but he's got to play Chelsea and Man United soon. So, I'm going to say Rodgers because I think his minutes, there's no doubts about him whatsoever. I've got 4 free transfers for game week 28. Is taking Palmer, Rice, Guiu, and Miley out for Wirtz, Dango, Tavernier, and Thiago a good idea so I can field 11 for 31? I mean, they are all really good picks. But obviously, you need to wait and see what Tavernier's minutes are like this week and whether he's going to be back in the 11 next week. He probably will be. But yeah, in theory, that sounds quite good. Like, big upgrades, good for 31. On Wildcard 32, by the way, I should just, like, I know I've talked a lot about wildcarding 32 myself. There is a chance in some scenarios I don't do it. Like, I just want to put that out there right now. What are those scenarios where my team looks okay for 33, or where the fixtures fall in a way where free hitting in 33 is better? Because actually, a lot of people, their team in game week 32 is probably going to look okay. Like, let's say that I keep Raya and Gabriel, but I sell Rice. Then when I get back to 32, I've got Raya and Gabriel against Bournemouth at home, which is probably okay. My Man United players will have Leeds at home. If I bring in Wirtz and I've got Van Dijk, they've got Fulham at home, I think, in 32. So I'm not, like, if it falls in a way where I want to bench boost 33, then I probably will wildcard 32, but it's not 100% locked in. I know probably the way I talk about it feels like it is 100% locked. It's not. I think the only thing I can say is I'm going to try and leave all options open by rolling as many transfers as possible, as always. At 200k rank, would you go João Pedro captain over Haaland? Not really. I mean, 200k is fine. There's loads of time left, and Haaland, I think, is better. I've wildcarded in 24 in Burma or Rodgers long term. I mean, again, like, if I've already used my wild card, I would be even safer with minutes than I usually would be. Now, I think in Burmo's minutes are absolutely fine, so I don't really have too many concerns. I'm just looking at Rodgers' long-term fixtures. See, they are pretty good, Villa's fixtures, to be honest, apart from that Chelsea-Man United game. I think I would go Rodgers. As much like in the short term, I think Mbeumo is probably better, but long term, I think I'd have to take Rodgers. Best three: Szoboszlai, Enzo, Thiago, or Wilson, Palmer, Dango, Utara. Like this week specifically, the one with Palmer. Long term, the other one. Although I wouldn't want Enzo long term, I guess. So yeah, this week Palmer and Dango. Bench one: Alderete, Senesi, captain Haaland, João Pedro, Haaland. One free transfer: Bruno Fernandes to Palmer for 1 week just for captain. I don't think it's worth it. Like 2 transfers, because you're going to want Fernandes back, surely. Most points this week, Enzo, Wirtz, or Semenyo. Probably Semenyo. Selling Jai or Rice for Wirtz, or both for Wirtz and Dango. Like you're probably are you gonna sell them both regardless soon anyway? I'd probably sell Rice first because he definitely blanks, right? In 31. And Jai does play Chelsea, so it's not great, but at least he plays. So I'd probably go Rice. I don't think you need to do both. Arguably, you don't have to do either this week. Thinking of Rice and Enzo to Semenyo and Wirtz, or João Pedro and Rice to Ekitike and Semenyo. Both feel wrong before Burnley, but Rolling feels too passive. Yeah, I wouldn't do either of those moves. Just selling Chelsea players before Burnley just doesn't make any sense to me. Like there might be certain people out there that've got a specific, like it always happens, right? I'll say don't sell Chelsea players before Burnley, and then there'll be someone that comes up with this particular thing where actually maybe it makes sense. But yeah, I probably wouldn't do either of them. If I was going to do either, by the way, I'd probably do the João Pedro. No, I'd probably do the Semenyo and Wirtz one, I think. New member, thank you. Why is everyone overlooking Somerville? It's insane. Fixtures aren't very good. Keep and start Cunha or sell him to a Brentford midfielder. I'm going to say keep and start. I think going for Brentford midfielders this week is good, for sure. But I kind of want to wait until 28. I don't know. If you want to do Cunha to Utara, it's fine. He probably just keeps playing. I don't really see too many issues there. But Sharda, I just don't feel comfortable buying him this week. Enzo can go down in price tonight to 6.8. My purchase price is 6.5. My selling price is 6.7. Will my selling price go down? Yeah. No. You have to go up 0.2 for every 0.1. So when he goes down to 6.7, he's still gone up 0.2 since you bought him. Thoughts on Thiago captain? I think it's fine. I don't think he's in the top 3 though this week. But I mean, he's a nailed on penalty taker with a home fixture. Brentford have been really good this season. Like he's certainly not a bad captain, but I personally haven't given it too much thought for my own team. Is Rodgers being overlooked? Don't think so. He's one of the most brought midfielders this week. Is he a better replacement for Rice than Wirtz? I prefer Wirtz. I just think the fixtures are better, but Rodgers is good. Lately, you talked down on Rice, but in the 5 games for the double without return, he has about 2 XGA. Other players use stats like this to defend them. Yeah, I mean, his stats over the season are okay, attacking-wise, but nothing to get too excited about. Dango, Mbeumo, or Sharda, Cunha. Dango and Mbeumo, I think that's pretty clear. Start Gay or Mukiele. I'd probably go Mukiele, but that is very close. Yeah, Dango I like. If you want to go for him, go for it. Should be fine. Don't see too many issues there. If I sell Cunha, it'll probably be for Dango. Yeah, I think someone else just asked about that. Might have even been you. Congrats on 490k subs. Thank you very much. Less than 10k to go now to 500k. Someone asked me on Twitter. I forgot to reply. Someone said, "How will you celebrate?" I was thinking, probably just say thanks for the subs and then just carry on with my life. I expect just carry on making videos and go for 502k. Did I see Newcastle's XG against Karabag? No, but I'm presuming it was quite high. Best fixture between Petrovic and Donnarumma. I would just play Donnarumma at home, I think. I have a front three: Haaland, Thiago, Ekitike, and in midfield, Enzo, Semenyo, Bruno, Sarr. Is there anyone you would bench for Rice? What if I sold Rice for? Well, if you're unsure about whether to play Rice, why would you buy Verge? You know, you've got a player that you can't even get into your 11. He doesn't need replacing, right? No, I wouldn't play Rice ahead of any of those. One to bench: Chalobah, Richards, Senesi, Evan Nielsen. Probably Senesi. Would you sell Evan Nielsen or Rice this week? Probably Rice, just because he blanks in 31. Doesn't feel that long ago you were excited to reach 100k subs. Yeah, when was that? That was a while back now. Must be like 3 or 4 years, I expect. Maybe more. Probably more. Probably look it up. Have one free transfer, sell Bruno to Parma. No, definitely wouldn't do that. 2 free transfers, Trossard and Bruno out for Parma and Anderson. Yeah, again, I don't get this clamour to sell Bruno Fernandes, if I'm honest. João Pedro captain versus Haaland if you had him. I mean, look, this will come back to bite me, but I'm going to say it anyway. If I had João Pedro, I would have given it zero thought about captaining him this week if I had Haaland in my team. Like, zero. By Dango, Utara, or Szoboszlai. I mean, Szoboszlai gives you absolute 100% guaranteed minutes, which I don't think you can say about Dango, but I do think Dango will play, and the fixtures are very good, so probably him. Play Henderson or Petrovic, have Munoz. Henderson. Yeah, already answered questions about Thiago captain. It's fine. I don't think he's in the top 3, but if you want to go for it, it's not crazy, I would say. I think Az is captain in Thiago, although I think that might have something to do with the fact he's a Brighton fan. Would you recommend Timber to Hill this week? Not really, unless you're desperate for the money. I mean, Timber is clearly better, right? If the only way to get Thiago was to sell Ekitike, would you do it? No, probably not. I mean, look, I'd rather have Thiago, but is that worth a transfer? I'm not convinced it is. Should I sell Enzo for Parma and transfer 2 for Parma or wait? I don't like if you've got lots of transfers. I don't mind bringing in Palmer for 1 week and then selling him again. But for most people, I'd probably just ignore it now, and I wouldn't be selling Bruno to do it. Bench boost: Reyes, Senesi, Vandenberg, and Anderson, Forest. Probably not, especially if you've got your wildcard left. Will you accept the Netflix documentary offer if you finish number 1? I'd love to finish number 1. Obviously, I think everyone playing FPL would. But it's not going to happen. Even from this point, obviously I'm in a good position and there's still a lot of game weeks to go, but it's just not going to happen. Like, to reach number 1, and by the way, I know I've had a lot of luck, but you need luck the whole season. And you don't have to get every decision right, but you've got to get them right more often than not. So, for example, when I turned down getting Palmer recently, I mean, that would have been a lot more points, right? That's the kind of thing someone that wins FPL would do. And also, I've just burnt my triple captain for 7 points. You know, there'll be. I bet the person that wins FPL has not triple captained Gabriel in game week 26. So unfortunately, they're the kind of things you need to hit like consistently all season. I'm just too far off, and I'm now 1 chip down as well. Like it's obviously not impossible to win from my position, but the run of luck would be. The run of luck needed to win it from here would be even bigger than the luck I've already had, which seems quite unlikely. Obviously I would like to finish as high as possible, but if I could get my first ever top 1k finish, I would take that. But even that's going to be difficult. Like, things can go wrong so quickly. I've seen it time and time again. Where did I get up to? Is João Pedro a good captain differential? If you don't own Haaland or Palmer or Bruno Fernandes, or maybe even... I actually... There's part of me that even thinks Thiago is better than João Pedro, but yeah, he's fine as a differential captain. Start 2, Harry Wilson, Mukiele, Richards. I would probably bench Richards. Although yeah, probably Richards. Is Sarah captain shout? I mean, again, he's okay, but I wouldn't be thinking about it personally. 132 points behind him in min league. Any chance of catching? Strategy suggestions like going more differential on captains or lineups. Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to give evergreen advice like you just now go differential. Okay, but what do I go differential on? Do I differentiate captain this week, next week, 29, 30, 31? It's difficult, right? If there's no clear alternative for captain, like let's say just for example, right, Haaland was playing Burnley at home. That's probably not the kind of week to differentiate. But this week, if they had Haaland, you had Palmer, then obviously you go for it. But yeah, you just have to monitor what they're doing and try and take on different players. It is catch upable, by the way. You can catch it, 132 points. Obviously, the longer you stay that far behind, the more difficult it gets. So you probably need to do something soon, I would say. Wilson or Maguire or Chow? I'd play Wilson. Bowen to Thiago this week or roll. I'd probably roll. Free hit 31 or free hit 33, the play. Probably not free hit 31 for me. 33 or 34. Depends how the doubles fall. Do I think Dubravka, Senesi, Brobby and Alderete is a good bench boost? Oh, you've already wildcarded. Okay. It's okay. Like, because you've already wildcarded, I'd be tempted to do it, but I obviously don't know what your bench will look like the next few weeks. So think about that. But it's okay. The fact that Bradford's playing Chelsea away, that would probably put me off. Rice, Timber, and Ahmad for Verts, Gay, and Saar. No. Like, no, not at all, I don't think. Well, Timber to Gay, I just think is kind of pointless transfer, really. The other ones are okay-ish, I guess, but you're selling Rice and buying Saar. They both blank in 31. So, I mean, gut instinct seeing, like, for 3 transfers, that doesn't feel good enough to me. FPL United member 14 months. How are people not considering Palmer this week? I think he's the most transferred in midfielder, I think. So, they are. Only 1 free transfer and can't get him in. Is Enzo enough? I mean, Enzo's fine. Would you do in Burma to Semenyo? No. I need funds for 2 to 3 free transfers I want this week. Is selling Haaland that big of a punt? It's quite a big punt, yeah. The other problem is, if Man City lose to Newcastle in the FA Cup, there is a chance that Man City's fixture against Palace stays in 31. All of a sudden, Haaland's probably the best captain that week. So do it if you want to go different, but just be prepared that he could do really well, essentially. In wildcards, in week 28, can get Verts or Szoboszlai, which means I can afford Thiago as well for front 3. Otherwise, Thiago would need 4 transfers and 2 game weeks to get the money. I mean, yeah, Verts or Szoboszlai, both good picks. Have a 5 at the back, including Senesi. Have Cunha on my bench. I'd play Cunha over Senesi. I probably wouldn't use a transfer on that. Rice to Rodgers. It's fine, yeah, if you want to sell Rice this week. 3 free transfers, 5 outfield blanks. Yeah, sure. I mean, Rodgers is probably better than Rice this week. Not in a massive way, I don't think, but yeah, he's better. Haaland and Rice to Salah and Thiago. I don't think it's like if you're going to take Haaland on by going for Salah, I think you do it next week. To be honest, Verts or Szoboszlai. Verts if you can afford it. Wilson, but Szoboszlai's good. Wilson and Evan Nielsen for Krupi and Palmer. 2 free trial. I mean, sure, if you can manage game week 31 and you got a plan for Palmer next week, sure, but only you can know that. Bench Szoboszlai or Rice. I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna say Szoboszlai, but I gotta be honest. I think that might just. I think the fact that Rice got a 14-pointer in the double is playing on my mind with him a little bit. I don't like thinking like that. Yeah, I think I'd play Rice maybe. Is Thiago over Otara Shada worth a hit? You know, I don't think you're going to captain Thiago at any point, so probably not. But can you not just not buy Dango Utara this week and just get Thiago later on? Play Gay or Hill? Probably Gay. Start 2, Calvert-Lewin, Rice, Senesi, Anderson. I'd probably play Calvert-Lewin and Rice, I think. Do Bowen to Thiago this game week or next game week? Look, Bowen's not a bad pick this week, and he's also on penalty, so I'd probably just wait. I don't think there's a need to do it this week. Who would you play out of Mane, Dewsbury Hall, or Mukiele? Probably Dewsbury Hall, I think. Although, oh yeah, I was trying to remember who Wolves had. Probably Dewsbury Hall, but I think you could justify playing Mukiele over him. Timber to Van Dijk this week and Palmer to Salah next week, or wait until next week for both. Yeah, I would wait. I don't think Timber to Van Dijk has to be done this week, honestly. I think you could argue Timber's better than Van Dijk this week. Start 2, Hill, Wilson, Anderson, or Richards. Wilson and Richards probably. Bench one of Szoboszlai, Mukiele, Rice, or O'Reilly. Probably O'Reilly. Cash or Senesi. To play this week, Cash. To bring in longer term, probably Senesi just about. Start Anderson or Mane or Mukiele. Mukiele, sure. Bench one, there's loads of benching headaches. Bench one, Saliba, Senesi, Anderson from Forest or Wilson. Probably Anderson from Forest. I've got Senesi ahead of Anderson on the bench. Although there's not that much in it, I guess. Wonder if Anderson will be on penalties. Imagine if he was and I've benched him. On triple Arsenal defence, do I bench Timber for Dewsbury Hall? I think I would play Timber ahead of him. I think it's a close call, but I think I'd play Timber. Like, I'm not saying you can't bench Timber or you can't sell him, but up until the double game week, we pretty much treated Timber as an always play kind of player. Like, not as good as Gabriel, but not far off. So I think the double game week is just playing on people's minds way too much. Yes, it was disappointing. Yes, Timber's not got any attacking returns recently. There's been yellow cards and stuff. But before the double, Timber was like, you got him, you play him. And now all of a sudden, they conceded to Wolves twice, obviously. And now there's like this big panic. Like, I still think he's a pretty good pick, to be honest. Nunes / Timber to Van Dijk. Remove a game week 31. Blanca now. No, I think you can just do it next week. Start 2 of Rice, Wilson, and Evan Nilsson. I would bench Rice, I think. I make free hit with or no Haaland. Palmer is captain. I would have Haaland on. I've not looked at free hit this week, but my gut instinct is I would definitely have him. Why not Arsenal midfield? Why not Anderson midfielder starts on 4 points every game? But will he though against Liverpool? Like, he won't get a clean sheet. Yes, he might get defcons, but yellow card could be more likely. Like, there's every chance he just gets 3 points or something in this game. Yes, Anderson's got a good average of 4 points, so it could happen again, but this could also just be one of the games where he doesn't get that. Like, clean sheet's very unlikely, so he's going to not have that point either. Start Timber or Anderson? Timber. Okay, yeah, again, Timber. Martinez or Allison? I mean, this week, Martinez. Longer term, Allison, probably. Strand Larson, Captain Hall today, you think? Nope, probably not. I wouldn't captain him. He could get another brace, but I probably wouldn't captain him. I think it's because the alternative to Timber is a good replacement. For me, I've got triple Arsenal defence. I'm benching Timber for Alderete. Yeah, but Timber's better than Alderete, right? So that's not a good replacement. And look, Spurs got a new manager. Arsenal are now under a bit of pressure. Spurs could absolutely score, right? I'm not saying the clean sheet is an absolute lock. All I'm saying is the fact that Wolves scored 2 goals against Arsenal is massively playing on everyone's minds. There's no way there'd be if Arsenal got the clean sheet against Wolves, even with what happened against Brentford, there's no way there'd be so much concern about Timber. So should one game change our thinking so much? Probably not, right? Start Senesi or Vandenberg. I mean, probably Vandenberg. There is a chance he gets benched, though, I guess. But will he come on? Presumably not if he's benched. So probably Vandenberg. Although, is it worth the risk? I'd probably play Vandenberg, I think. Would you do Evan Nilsson to Thiago? Probably, yeah. Is this your highest mid-season position ever? No, I have been triple digits before. Only once, though, I think. Like, I can't remember how many game weeks I had triple digits for during the season, but it's only happened in one season. I think I got up to like 600 and something at some point. 2 free transfers, Pope to Kelleher or roll and play Pope till 31. Probably just roll. Goalkeeper transfers kind of suck a little bit. It was nice to see you on the FPL show. Thank you very much. Need your help to do 9 points more than you this week. Okay. Gay or Mukiele? Probably Mukiele. Bowen to Thiago this week or next. I'd probably wait till next week. I think Bowen's competitive this week. And you just never know what might happen next week, where you might bring Thiago in for a different forward if there's an injury or something. Like, I think it's one of those moves. It's okay. If you want to do Bowen to Thiago, I'm not going to argue against it, but I think in most cases I'd probably wait till next week. Anderson, Gay, Mukiele, or Rayan to play. Rayan, probably, if you've got him. Take a -4 game week 28 for Thiago and Kelleher, or keep Sanchez/Sarr. Probably just keep your goalkeeper, yeah. Of course it does. If a defense does bad, then it is more likely there will be changes. Yeah, but I again, it's just a massive overreaction. The chances are the back four will be Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, and Timber, like it mostly is. Like people just overreact a lot to games. I'm pretty sure Arteta will not mass change the team for one of the biggest games all season. And again, I can't sit here and tell you 100% guarantee that Timber will start. But before that Wolves game, I would have said Timber's going to start against Spurs. So should that Wolves game change my mind? I mean, essentially, Arsenal conceded hardly any chances in that Wolves game. It was a worldie to start off, then a mistake for the second goal. That doesn't happen that often. Start Rice or Njai? Probably Njai. Is it wise to go triple Brentford during this run of fixtures? Thiago, Utara, defender, maybe. I just think it's risky to buy a defender right now. I just can't see Collins staying out of the team forever. So which other defender drops out? Probably Vandenberg, but who knows for sure. New member, thank you. Do you think if Arsenal lose this game, will there be massive changes to the squad in future? Probably not. Like, what's he going to do? Just start playing Mosquera over Saliba? Or Mosquera over Gabriel? Or put Kepa in goal? Or bench Declan Rice, one of the best midfielders in the world? Or bench Saka, who's just signed a new contract? Like I don't know. Is Norgar going to suddenly start playing instead of Zubamendi? Like, honestly, people just overreact so much. Like, rubbish game for Arsenal. They should have put it to bed. Bad to drop points in that game. They should have won the game. But, like, well, I don't know what people are expecting is going to happen. I really don't. It's just crazy to me. They had for defenders, they had 4 clean sheets in the 5 games before the double. What did you have for breakfast? I had a banana and a protein bar. I like oats. Do you? Yes. I had them most days. Just didn't do it today. Start Rice or Wilson? Wilson, I think, just about. Wilson looked dead on his feet against Wolves. Could be rested. Yeah, could be rested. Could play. Again, to be honest, I've made so many bad calls with minutes. I'm not willing to say I think Timber 100% starts, but I would be pretty surprised if he doesn't. Like, my bet would be Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori. Am I sure you want to bench Senesi for Anderson? I mean, they're both pretty good picks, but I think I'd rather play Sunderland away than West Ham away right now. Start Harry Wilson or Elliot Anderson? Wilson. Away at Spurs with the new manager known for short-term bounces is not double defense territory. Yeah, look, if you want to sell defenders from the best defense in the league, go for it. Honestly, like, there's a lot of people that think they're bad now. Sell them, by all means, go for it. Like, if that's your feeling that the double defense is not good anymore, sell it. I'm not going to sit here and argue about it. It's just not what I would personally do. And you know what? If Arsenal don't get a clean sheet against Spurs, I'll probably just play Ray and Gabriel against Chelsea at home. And if they don't get a clean sheet against Chelsea, I'll just play them against Brighton away. And guess what? If they don't get a clean sheet against Brighton away, I'm just going to play them against Everton at home. Like, that's my plan with double defense. Start Harry Wilson. Oh, I did that one. Big decision. 2 free transfers. Give to by the way, to Thiago is way harder to say than you think. The amount of times I have to re-record a section of a video because I say to Thiago and I get it wrong. Give to Thiago for Ekitike, Haaland, Thiago. Can't afford Verts then, and would Enzo to Sabosso 28, or say free transfer, get Semenyo and Verts next game week. No, I'd rather get Thiago and not have Semenyo personally. Pick a captain you're chasing for Haaland. Depends how much you're chasing though, I suppose, but probably Haaland. Yeah. Worth a punt on Gravenberch game week. No, not really. I'd rather go Tavernier if he gets minutes this week because he's on penalties, right? With no Kluivert. Would you take a -4? Palmer Gay for Mbermo Timber? No. Trossard and Bruno out for Palmer and Anderson. No. I just wouldn't sell Bruno Fernandes. It's just madness. Like 2 game weeks ago, the idea of even mentioning Palmer was kind of laughed at, and now we're selling Bruno Fernandes to get him. Again, relax. Like Bruno Fernandes is such a good hold. Bench one of Timber, Anderson, and Vandenberg. Vandenberg probably. Although I think if Vandenberg starts, he probably is better than Anderson. But I'd probably bench Vandenberg. I just became a member. How do I join the Discord? As long as you're on one of the top 2 tiers for membership, you just need to link your Discord account to your YouTube account, and it should automatically pop up. Is Martinez, Wilson, Brobby, and Senesi good bench boost? It's pretty good, yeah. If you've used your wildcard, I'd be very tempted to just pop that. Palmer, Rogers, and Dallo for Trossard, Bruno, and Timber for -4. No. I mean, a -4 and you're selling Bruno. Like, it's... Okay, I've just realised Bruno blanked last week, didn't he? Yeah, that explains all the questions. Yeah. I mean, before that, it was 10, 10, 5, 10, 7. Like, what... Yeah. Selling Bruno for a hit? No. Like, I think Palmer's okay if you want to take a 1 week punt, but I just wouldn't do it by selling Bruno. It just seems crazy, especially when most of you will have Haaland anyway. Start 1, Anderson, Hill, or Vandenberg. 1, Anderson, probably. Better option for captain, Rogers or Fernandes. Don't trust Enzo. Worth punting on Sarah Wilson. Honestly, I think you keep Enzo for this week and you sell him to someone different next week. I mean, Enzo's better than... I mean, arguably Sarr is better, actually, than Enzo this week, especially if he's on penalties. But I don't... Like, there's no chance you'd do Enzo to Sarr next week, I don't think. So I wouldn't do it. Wilson, if you have to. Rice or Evan Nielsen. 1 free transfer. Watkins to Thiago or Roll. Ekitike. I mean, I'm pretty sure Watkins will start. I guess it's not 100% certainty, but it should do. Ekitike captain, not for me. In all of these doubts about Rice, Timber, Verts, I wonder if Dubravka Verbruggen needs a refreshment. I mean, Kelleher's good, yeah, but I would just not make a transfer on that goalkeeper. Kelleher is the one I would buy, though. Yeah, João Pedro captain over Haaland got 0 interest. I know all this stuff. I know this is all going to come back to bite me. João Pedro's going to score a hat trick. Spurs will wipe out the clean sheet in a minute, and Timber will get a yellow card. Bruno Fernandes will blank, and Palmer will score a hat trick. I can see it already, but yeah, whatever that last question was, no. João Pedro captain over Haaland. I'm not surprised so many people are thinking about it because João Pedro's got points, but like 3 of those assists were winning penalties. Like, yeah, feels like a messed up wildcarding early. It's hard to know until we get further into the season, really. Personally, I really didn't like wildcard 24, but I've seen some people do really well with it. They've had huge boosts, and as long as the rest of the blanks and doubles fall well for them and they can plan for it, they might do absolutely fine. Guy to Thiago and Rice to Dango Wilson to fund it. Yeah, I quite like that. It's probably 2 moves you'd probably do soon anyway. Are we being stubborn with Palmer and we're not going for him because it's chasing points? I'm not going for him because I can't do it in 1 move, so it would be for a hit. Even if I could do it in 1 move, unless it was like Rice to Palmer and then Palmer to someone else, I feel the boat hasn't been missed because Palmer's still good this week. But there is a bit of chasing points there, right? Again, a couple of weeks ago when I was mentioning Palmer, the replies were all, you can't go Palmer, he's not in form, fitness, minute, blah, 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 blah. Now he's got 3 penalties, everyone wants to get him. So I think if I was sat there with 3 or 4 transfers, I'd be very tempted to do it for a punt on captaincy. But I just think Haaland's fine this week. I really do. So yeah, if Haaland had an away game to Arsenal, then I'd be much more tempted to get Palmer, but he doesn't. So probably won't do it. Start Konza, Alderete, or Juve. Juve, wow. Bournemouth at home, okay. Probably... I'm going to go for who... Do you know what? I don't think there's much to pick between them in terms of like attacking potential, defcons and stuff like that. So I'm just going to look at the clean sheet odds. Before I look it up, I think... Leeds pretty good, you know. Fulham, not bad either. I don't think it's due. I don't think it's due. I think Bournemouth will score. My gut feeling is Alderete, but I'm going to look at the clean sheet odds. So Villa is 32%, Sunderland 31%, of course. I'm going to say Alderete because I think he's not been amazing for Defcons, but I think he is better than Konza. Back four, starting Van der Ven, Gabriel, and Timber. Add Senesi or Anderson. I mean, I would add Senesi and Anderson and bench Van der Ven, I think. But yeah, if it's one or the other, Anderson, that's who I'm starting. Bench one of Rice, Anderson, Senesi, Alderete. Probably Senesi. Would you play Dallo or Anderson from Fulham? Probably Anderson, just about. 2 free transfers, Rice to Shada, Dango, Rayan, Gakpo. Who's best? I think out of those, I would go for Dango. I'm a little bit unsure about Rayan because Bournemouth will start getting players back, and I'm not sure you can be 100% certain about the minutes. Also, as I said earlier, yes, the plan is to wildcard 32, but there's certain scenarios where that won't happen, and Brentford's fixture in 32 is better than Bournemouth's. So I do not see me buying Rayan at all over the next few weeks, which could hurt. Differential captain, Bruno or Enzo instead of Haaland. Bruno, if you're going to go for it. Bench Mane or Ahmad. Mane will be selling Ahmad or Enzo next week, probably to a Brentford midfielder. Nice start bench. Croupy, Wilson, and Ballard. So you've only got to start one. I would... Oh, Ballard, you know. My gut... Wilson is who I would start, I think, but Ballard would be tempting. I have 5 free transfers. I'll get you. Look at that. What a show-off. Is it worth doing Timber, Rice, Chalobah? No. I hate this already. Chalobah's got Burnley at home. To Anderson from Fulham, Hill and Palmer. My overall rank is 7,500. Look, I don't hate it because you've got lots of transfers. But it doesn't feel great, I'll be honest. I feel like there's better things you can do. I don't hate it. If you want to go for it, go for it. I don't have a better suggestion for you without being able to see your whole team. But don't send me your whole team because I still won't have a better suggestion for you. You'd still have 3 free transfers next week. Yeah, I don't love it, but I don't hate it, if that helps. Strand Larson and Dewsbury Hall in for Calvert-Lewin and Gravenberch, 3 free transfers. I wouldn't buy Dewsbury Hall right now. The fixtures aren't very good apart from that Burnley game. I probably also wouldn't buy Strand Larson for Calvert-Lewin. I think Leeds fixtures are really good from 29, so I'd probably just roll. Get Thiago or roll, 1 free transfer. Depends who you're selling. If it's a big upgrade, then I would go for it because you're going to want him soon anyway. Where do I look for the clean sheet odds? I usually just go to Rob T FPL's Twitter account, and he usually posts the projected goals and clean sheet odds. Who is the best goalkeeper from 27 to 32? I'm planning wildcard 32. I'd probably buy Kelleher, to be honest. I mean, I guess if you've got money, Alisson's also good, but most people are going to want to go cheap, so Kelleher. Play 2 of Croupy, Dewsbury Hall, Richards, Anderson, Wilson. Wilson and Dewsbury Hall, probably. Is Sarr a good option? The thing is, you've missed the Burnley game now. I know he didn't do anything, but you still missed it. So I probably wouldn't go for Sarr now. I think I would leave him. If you've got him, obviously you hold. Although with Mateta out for 2 to 3 weeks, I do think Sarr will be on penalty. So I don't hate it, but I'm not sure I'd go there. I think the time to enter Palace players was last week. 1 free transfer, Laquarte, Munoz, or just play Anderson. I would just play Anderson. For the similar reasons I just spoke about with Sarr. Will Matty Cash start? I'm pretty sure he will. Thoughts on Salah captaincy? I don't hate it because it's a huge differential. Forest away isn't necessarily super tough, although new manager bounce. You never know. But I don't think he's as good as Haaland or Palmer. That's for sure. Bruno Fernandes versus Salah, probably a bit closer. I want to play Mukiele, but not sure who to bench. Currently playing Timber, Gabriel, Munoz, Chalobah, Palmer, Rogers, Bruno Fernandes, Verts, Enzo. I would bench Mukiele. If you had to bench one of them, this is going to make people very happy. If you had to bench, if you said, I'm going to play Mukiele, who is the best one to bench out of those? You have to play Mukiele. I would bench Timber. But, actually, would I? Is Timber worse than Chalobah? I'm not sure he is, actually. But, I guess in your case, if you have to play Mukiele, bench Timber. But I wouldn't do it. I would just bench Mukiele. Even though Timber's like the worst defender in FPL right now. Play Kelleher or Royce? Kelleher for sure, I think. Yeah. Royce is at home, isn't he? Oh god. Yeah, sorry. I had Sunderland. I saw Sunderland away for Fulham, but then pictured that Royce was playing away. But obviously he's at home. Who would I rather play at home, Fulham or Brighton? Not much in it. I'm going to say go for the Sunderland goalie. I have 4 million in the bank. Would you do Dewsbury Hall to Rodgers and Hall to Van Dijk? Hall to Van Dijk, I think, is a pretty good move. Yes. Dewsbury Hall to Rodgers, sure. I mean, they're both good for 31 from now till 31, so sure. The only thing I would say is, like, with Rodgers, he is good, right? Because it's Leeds at home, followed by Wolves away. But then he is Chelsea at home, Man United away. So 2 of the next 4 are Chelsea and United. Like, if we were having this discussion next week, I'm pretty sure there's no way I'd buy Rodgers. I think I'd opt for someone else with better fixtures. So I think Hall to Van Dijk is fine. I just wonder whether you play Dewsbury Hall and go for a different midfielder. Either way, if you want to go for Rodgers, I think it's okay. I'm just saying next week I don't think so many people will be buying him. 1 free transfer, Mane to Verts. Oh, sorry, Mainu to Verts and bench Rice or roll. Probably just roll and play Rice. I mean, that's fine. Start Anderson or Tarkovsky. Oh, that's so tough. Because Tarkovsky's at home and he has generally been pretty good for DEFCONs. But the clean sheet chance has to be quite low, right? I'd probably play Anderson, but it is a tight call. Bench one of Enzo, Rodgers, Sarr, Ekitike, Semenyo. Oh my god. That is rough. Like my gut feeling is you bench Enzo, but I don't think you can do that against Burnley. Semenyo looks good. He's at home. Sarr could be on penalties. He's at home to Wolves. Rodgers got Leeds. Oh my god, come on. Can you not play your bench boost? It's Ekitike or Enzo. I don't think you can bench Ekitike. Maybe it should be Semenyo. I don't know. Honestly, Enzo, but I hate that. I absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. I'm not even sure it's the right call. Captain Bruno or Salah? See, this is the thing. I've put Bruno as 3rd best captain, but I did think when I started the stream, should that be Salah instead? I'm going to say Bruno. But I think Salah differential is huge. Zubamendi to Sharda or Roll. If you're having to play Zubamendi, I kind of like making a transfer, to be honest. But it just goes back to what I said earlier. Sharda, is he a slight doubt? Just back from suspension. Will he go straight back in? Presumably he will, but I don't think it's 100%. So I probably would Roll rather than buy Sharda. Ekitike and Brentford midfielder / Wilson or Thiago and Verts. By quite a distance, I think, as well, by the way. Maybe that's a bit harsh on Ekitike, but yeah, I would 100% Thiago and Verts. Alderete, Hill, Saliba, play 1, bench 2. I play Saliba. Play Wilson, Anderson, or Krupi. Wilson. Raya to Allison or Timber to Van Dijk. Need to save a few. Timber to Van Dijk. Oh my god, okay. The whole team. For second free transfer, should I bring Saboslo, Rodgers, Dango for Rice, or Hill for Tarkovsky, or Roll and go for the start 11? So Anderson, Richards, Mukiele, Tarkovsky. I would just roll that. I don't think Hill over Tarkovsky is enough of an upgrade to make a transfer. And I don't think you need to make any of those midfield moves for Rice this week. So I'd probably roll. Play Maguire, Cash, or Jimenez. Ooh, Jimenez probably going to get subbed early now and Meniz back, but I think that's who I would play. Any guesses if Cash will play? I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start. Any chance of Minte starting for Brighton? I mean, there's a chance. I don't think it's very high, though. Timber to Van Dijk for free. I think it's okay. I think Van Dijk is better for the next 5, but this week specifically, I don't think there's much in it, so I would probably prefer to roll. Bench 1, Njai, Timber, Richards, Chalobah. Oh, that's actually quite tough. Oh, no, Richards. Matty, 30 months. Would you start Rice over any of Enzo, Njai, Bruno, or Rodgers? When I first saw the 4 players, I did think about Njai, but he's on penalties, so no. Would you play double Arsenal defence or play Senesi ahead of Timber? I would 100% play Timber over Senesi. Thoughts on triple captain Palmer? I'd rather save it for a double, but I guess if you're going to go differential in a single game week, this is not bad. Start to a Mukiele, Wilson, and Thiago. I'd bench Mukiele, I think. That's quite an annoying benching headache, by the way, like Mukiele versus Wilson. Because, like, obviously, if you play Wilson, you're then really hoping it's him that wipes the clean sheet. But yeah, probably Wilson. What do I think of João Pedro captain? I really just don't like it that much. I'm trying to think. Okay, so these are players that I would captain over João Pedro: Haaland, Salah, Fernandes, probably Thiago because of penalties. Salah, Palmer, Haaland, Fernandes, Salah, Thiago. Maybe then I'd consider João Pedro. Maybe. So I don't even think João Pedro's in my top 5 this week. Maybe that's a bit harsh, like, because he has got Burnley, Thiago's got Brighton, but it's just the penalties. I don't know if I would actually captain Thiago over João Pedro. Maybe I'll admit defeat on that one, but it's close. I don't think it's I don't think it's no brainer that it's João Pedro. But it is Burnley at home too. God, I'd love it if João Pedro blanks. And Palmer and everyone else that I don't own. Royce, Elliot Anderson, Cash, and Manny on the bench. A good punt for bench boost. I don't think it's good enough to bench boost if you've still got your wild card left. If you've used your wild card, yeah, maybe you could go do it. Semenyo and Strand Larson, or Watkins on a Dango / Ryan on wild card. No Haaland, Palmer captain, then sell to Verts next week. Have Thiago and Ekatike. Oh Jesus, okay. See, because of game week 31, I'd rather go for Watkins and Dango Utara. But then I don't think Watkins' minutes are fully secure. But the thing is, if you go Semenyo and Strand Larson, you're wildcarding. They're going to both blank in 31. So basically, I don't really like any of the options. If I had to pick one, I guess I would risk Watkins. Unless you're going to be committed enough to roll lots of transfers, in which case Semenyo and Strand Larson and change them later. But to wildcard now with a blank in 31 and already be booking in 2 free transfers, that feels like quite a fragile plan. Play 2 of Bowen, Rice, Wilson, Mukiele, or Mateus Nunes. I would play Bowen for sure, and then probably Wilson. If benching Bowen, no, I wouldn't bench Bowen. Yeah, I probably wouldn't make that transfer. Your team's pretty strong. Raya or Kelleher to play this week? Probably Raya, honestly. Any other suggestion for subs for Dewsbury Hall? I probably wouldn't buy Sharda this week. So Verts, if you're not going to go for Rodgers or Dango, probably would be my top 2. I have Tolu, Semenyo, and Madueke. Who to replace? 1 free transfer and 2 million in the bank. Well, not Semenyo right now. Madueke to someone else would probably be my priority, I think, because there's lots of good midfielders. I probably wouldn't take a -4. 3 free transfer sell Dewsbury Hall, Evan Nielsen for Dango, Ekatike, or roll. I'd probably roll this week. Start one of Dallo, Alderete, or Lefay. I think I would start Lefay and hope he takes the next penalty. Start one Krupi, Garner, or Alderete. Alderete, I think. If you had Cunha, would you have sold him to Dango or just started him? Yeah, I think Dango's fine, but there's just something telling me don't rush into buy him this week. So I'd probably keep Cunha and then look to sell him next week. I put it this, I don't want to say I'm definitely not buying him because he is an option, but I'm not sure I'm going to buy him next week, Dango. That's what's putting me off saying go for him now. Like, I think he's a good pick. I got nothing against him, but I don't know, call it a gut feeling if you want. Like, he's a good pick. But I think keeping Cunha another week is probably fine. Like, he should start. The annoying thing with Cunha is, right, he always gets subbed early, right? That's the annoying thing. Cunha to Mbermo, sideways move or roll. Yeah, it probably is sideways because obviously he's got the same fixtures, but Mbermo's minutes will be better. I'd rather roll. Again, like, I think Mbermo, if you've got him, he's an easy hold till 31, but I'm not sure anyone's going to buy him soon. Yeah, I think you're in a pretty good position to roll, to be honest. Ekatike to Thiago for free. I probably wouldn't do it this week. It's a really difficult one because I do think Thiago's better, but I'm just not sure I'd use the transfer on it. Is the guy predicting a Semenyo benching legit? I I don't even know who's predicting it, but given that I'm not really seeing many people talk about it, I would say probably not. I think people are just being duped by a fake account, probably. Like, if it had come from a legit account, it would be all over the chat, and you're only the second person I've seen mention it. I don't see it in Discord or anywhere else. So I think we're probably okay. I'd be very surprised if Semenyo doesn't start. I think we can consider Dango nailed for this run. He tends to get benched in tougher games. Yeah, I think he is for what it's worth. I think he is. So yeah, he's probably fine. He's cheap as well. I own Bowen, and who's saying he's bench builder? I don't even know. Like, people keep saying, is the person that's saying Semenyo's bench legit? I don't even know who it is. So that probably tells you that it's not, because I would have seen it somewhere from a legit account, I think. But I could be wrong. Like, it's not Lazy FPL, right? They were the ones that had the Haaland benching last time. Yeah, no. I own Bowen and Somerville. Really want Thiago and Dango. Roll or do one out of the two transfers this week. Feel I should roll, but FOMO on Brentford. I'd roll. I think Bowen and Somerville are both good this week. Harry mentioned Ramadan as a reason for Dango potentially reduced minutes. Yeah, this thought has crossed my mind, like maybe, but I don't think it's going to stop him starting. And also, when people are referring to this happening last year, he was playing for Bournemouth. He was never really first choice there, like without injuries and stuff. So it's a different scenario. I don't think we can really read too much into what happened last year. Like, any player that's involved with Ramadan, etc., maybe they're more susceptible to arrest, but plenty of players have just played lots of minutes during it before. So I don't think it's a massive problem. And also, with Dango, it's only so much of your budget, right? He's less than 6 million. Like, there's way worse punch you could make. Again, the only thing I can, for me personally, I might need a cheap midfielder next week. If Tavernier gets minutes this week, I'm going to buy Tavernier over Dango because I'll take the penalties. So I think if you're specifically buying this week, Dango looks good. It's just like 1 week can change everything, right? Everyone's talking about Dango this week. He might not be part of the conversation at all next week. Although it is Burnley away, so he probably will be. And I might buy him, but I probably won't. Rice to Verts this week or next. I'd probably just wait and do it next week. Start one, Alderete, Anderson, or Anderson. Probably Alderete just about, I think. Semenyo was drifted in the score betting. Okay. By like a lot. That is what happened last week with Man City, remember? Maybe they've just seen his underlying numbers and thought he can't keep this up, surely. Thoughts on Njai to Thiago, Dewsbury Hall in, Gio out. I probably wouldn't buy Dewsbury Hall right now, but overall, I don't hate that move. Yeah, I think it's okay. Who would I buy instead of Dewsbury Hall, though? It's tricky depending on how much money you got. Like, Stack's back now. The fixtures are pretty good from 29. I think Dewsbury Hall's probably still okay, to be honest. No, is he, though? The fixtures are pretty rubbish. Depends how often you need to play him. I think from next week, I'd prefer to buy Stack. But the problem is you can't be 100% sure he's going to start this week. Did you do it next week instead? That might be better. 2 free transfers and frustrated with Trossard. Trossard and Timber out for Semenyo and O'Reilly, or for Rodgers and Mateus Nunes O'Reilly. Well, the thing is, if you buy Semenyo and O'Reilly, you've got 2 players that are going to blank in Game Week 31, which might be a problem. I would just keep Timber and do Trossard to someone, I think. I wouldn't do Timber to a Man City defender. Probably wouldn't be high up my list of stuff to do. I've just realised I've been listening to Phoenix for just over 50 minutes. I probably need to change that. Best option for a bench boost goalkeeper. Raya is in the 11. I mean, Kelleher. So this week specifically, you could probably go for someone different than Kelleher, but I think Kelleher is a nice option because he's good for you afterwards as well. Although you're going to play Raya most weeks, so maybe you just need someone that's good in 31 and this week. Leno got Burnley, Sunderland away and Burnley at home this week in 31. Martinez, Leeds at home, West Ham at home this week in 31. I think Kelleher is good, but if you're going to keep Ray, you're going to play him most weeks. So Martinez or Leno potentially. Would Palmer triple captain be a good punt with him being low ownership? It is if you want to go outside of a double. Personally, if I still had my triple captain, I'd probably be saving it for a double game week. Although, look what happened in 26. But you don't have to triple captain a defender. Already wildcard. Would you bench boost with Verbruggen, Mukiele, Hill, Mane? Since I probably won't have double game week players in 33 on your bench, yeah. Look, it's difficult for me to say yes or no because I don't know what your bench is going to look like every other week. I would say that's okay. It's probably not. It's probably not good enough for a bench boost, I don't think. But the fact you've already played your wild card, it's tempting if you're not going to have a better bench before 31. Why is everyone suddenly loving Tottenham? I don't think they're loving Tottenham. I think they're just hating Timber in particular. Arsenal, but mostly Timber. I think if Arsenal had kept a clean sheet against Wolves, people wouldn't be so confident in Spurs, I don't think. 4 free transfers, wildcarded early, chasing in mini league. Already have Verts and Palmer captain. Nice. Rice, Croupy to add. I wouldn't buy Adley. Bournemouth for getting players back. I wouldn't go there. Adley, Thiago, Rice, Haaland. I'm so confused. Rice, Croupy to Adley, Thiago. Rice, Haaland to Salah, Thiago. Or okay, sorry. I'd roll. Yeah, roll. Timber, Gay, Wilson. Who starts and bench order? I would go Timber, then Timber versus Wilson's really close. I'm going to say Timber, then Wilson, then Gay. Paul, 4 months. Bench 1. Strand, Larson, Enzo, Rogers are in both. Oh my God, come on. You can't bench any of them. I don't know. Like, honestly, probably Enzo, but can you not bench boost? That is horrible. Haaland or João Pedro captain. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you. Like Haaland for me, for sure. I'd be very tempted to do Evan Nielsen to Thiago, even with 1 free transfer, I think. Not that Evan Nielsen's bad, but I think Thiago is just clearly better. Start Timber or Anderson. Timber. Am I planning on getting rid of Enzo next week? Probably, but it's not 100% certain. I could just bench him and get 5 free transfers for 31. The only thing is, not selling Enzo next week only really gains me 1 free transfer. So is that worth it? I don't know. I probably will sell him, but it's not guaranteed. Benny, new member, thank you. Do we need to pay to get an answer? No, there you go. Just answered your one and only question for the stream. Sanchez start over Ray in goal. Yes. I'm doing Tarkovsky to Van Dijk at the latest next week. Should I do it this week? I'd rather have Van Dijk, yes. You could do it, but I don't know if there's a big enough gap between the two to warrant using your transfer, but I think it's okay if you want to do it this week. Play 1. Wilson, Anderson, Mukiele. Wilson. Is Van Dijk worth the 0.5 extra over Kanate? Yes. I don't even think it's close. Now, that's not like Kanate can get an attack return. He can get defcons, but I think he's absolutely worth the 0.5. I've kind of said that all season. People were looking at Kanate earlier on in the season as well. Now, over a short span of like 3 to 4 games, obviously Kanate could outscore him, but yeah, 100%. You got that 0.5. I'm paying for it. Start 1, Richards, Senesi, Caicedo, or the injured Lacroix. I mean, Lacroix is probably going to start or just not be involved at all. So you could just risk him, I think. Then Richards, then Senesi, then Caicedo. Caicedo has got Burnley, I suppose. I'd probably still have Caicedo at the bottom somehow. Start 1, Tarkovsky, Hill, or Anderson. Tarkovsky, probably. Rumors of Semenya, but again, like I say all I keep seeing. You're now the third person to say that. All I've seen is rumors of bench. Rumors from where? Where are these rumors from? Someone please tell me, because I am not seeing it anywhere. So I'm guessing it's not really a great rumor. Do you think Sharda starts this week? Yes, but I'm not that confident. So my confidence levels are not high in saying that. I think he probably does, but I'm not sure I know enough to buy him. Pickford to Kelleher and Bruno G to Verts. Sounds pretty good, yeah? Well, if someone with 1,000 followers said it, then maybe it is true, yeah. Bench of Dorgu, Bruno G, and Lacroix play wildcard. Well, they're on your bench, right? So you don't need them this week. So probably not. Depends what the rest of the team looks like, I suppose. If the rest of the team is looking good, probably not. You can just start to deal with it over the next couple of weeks with free transfers instead. Enjoy Cash or Nunes to bench. Probably Nunes just about. Why is no one selling Rice to Verts this week instead of next week? Because it's just nice to get more info and an extra free transfer, and Verts is probably not a massive upgrade on Rice. Would you start Sharda if you had him? Probably, but obviously it depends what the alternatives are. I'm a Brentford fan. I'd be very surprised if Lewis Potter is dropped for Sharda. That's my worry. Like, we've seen it already with Keith Andrews. He's not afraid to just keep someone in if someone else is only just back. Start Alderete or Wilson? Wilson, I think. Do you remember when, like, there was a time when no one would even question playing Harry Wilson? He was just absolutely essential. Start two of Timber, Van Dijk, and Mukiele. I would probably bench Mukiele just about. I think. Bench two, Gabriel. Come on, you're not benching Gabriel. Come on. Gabriel, Timber, Mukiele, Anderson, or O'Reilly. I'd bench Anderson and O'Reilly. Ekatike and Palmer in, Harden, Enzo out. Probably not, to be honest. I would just captain Haaland. Start Dewsbury Hall or Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson. I wish Dewsbury Hall was still essential. Do I think Lacroix will start? Probably not, to be honest. But we don't know for sure that he's definitely out based on yesterday's press conference. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to start and he will be out. Like, Glasner did not sound that positive about him after the game in Europe. Not that what was I going to say? Not that he's really been positive about anything recently. But yeah, still. Start Gay, Hill, or Dallo. Probably. I think Newcastle score. I'm tempted to say Dallo, but probably Gay. Probably Gay. Jack Harrington FPL posted 14 hours ago about Semenyo benching. I bet this is someone I've got blocked. I'm not even sure. I can't even find the Twitter account. Yeah, I don't know. Harden has never scored versus Newcastle, still captain. Yeah. My long-term plan is including Bowen to Thiago, but I was planning to do it next week, but looks like Thiago is increasing in price. Would you do the transaction now? Oh, okay. I hadn't factored that in when people were talking about Bowen to Thiago earlier, because you're not going to want to do it tonight. That feels crazy. Is it worth 0.1? Uh 0.1. The problem is Thiago could just start skyrocketing in price after tonight as well. Especially if he does well this week. I think you can still roll, but I don't hate making the move. I just think Bowen's fine this week. I don't see Bournemouth keeping a clean sheet. Arsenal 3 up, Chelsea 3 up. Oh, triple up. Okay. Calvert-Lewin will. Okay. Bench of Dorgu, Bruno G, Lacroix with game week 31, 31, 3 in mind. Wildcard. I mean, that team seems fine, no? I mean, if you wildcarded, you would probably make some changes, but you've got Chelsea triple up against Burnley at home. Arsenal triple up is fine. Haaland's good. Bruno's good. Like, I don't see a massive issue there. I mean, I guess you've got 3 Arsenal, Haaland to deal with for the blank, but you've still got a bunch more transfers, right? I probably wouldn't wildcard it, but that's just my humble opinion. Bench runner Tarkovsky, Anderson, Dewsbury, Hall. Tarkovsky probably. Timber to Gay or Van Dijk. Van Dijk. Captain Bruno or Thiago. Bruno. Timber to Van Dijk or Rice to Vert, Schade or Roll. Probably Roll, to be honest. Should I bench boost with Krupi and Cash? Probably not. Kaiser, 29 months. Start Timber, Alderete or Hill. Timber. Cunha to Mbeumo, 2 free transfers. Cunha early subs annoying. They are, but I'm not sure I'd make that move right now. I think... I don't know. Mbeumo's still pretty good. Someone asked me that earlier. I don't think I would do the move this week, but I don't hate it. You're right, though. It is annoying. He probably will get subbed early again. Start Evan Nielsen / Thiago, and one of Dewsbury Hall, Anderson, Hill. Dewsbury Hall probably out of those. Captain Palmer or Haaland to avoid dropping rank. I think I would go Palmer if I had him this week. Huge differential. Would you start Van der Ven or Bueno? And are you considering Cash? Cash maybe if I need a new defender in 31, but I won't buy him before. I'd probably start Bueno, I think. Would you start Senesi if the rest of the crucial players on your bench are injured? I mean, I'm not sure if I'm missing the point, but I would start Senesi over an injured player, yes. Unless I'm missing something. I'm tempted to transfer Evan Nielsen to Thiago, but in my 10 people mid-league, almost everyone has him. Well, it depends how far behind you are, right? Ultimately, Thiago is just better than Evan Nielsen for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, so I'd probably just do it. Maybe make up differentials elsewhere. Is Mbeumo better than Cunha? Yes. If you don't have Haaland, who do I captain? Palmer? Fernandez? Probably. Salah? Depends who you've got, I suppose. Would you start Anderson or Mukiele as they play each other? Mukiele. Bench Chalobah, Van Dijk or Timber? Van Dijk, probably, just about. Although it's never nice benching Van Dijk. Start Alderete or Konza? Alderete, but I feel like I had that question already and maybe answered the other way before. But I could be talking rubbish. Would you do Timber to Van Dijk or wait a week and play Mukiele? I would wait a week and play Timber. Mukiele's fine. Want to do Krupi to Thiago, have 1.1 in the bank and 2 free transfers. I can do Timber to Cash, or do you have any other suggestion? Like, oh, sorry. I mean, you could sell Gay instead of Timber. I don't hate that, but either way, Timber to Cash is probably fine. Timber to Cash or Timber to Hill could be an option too. It depends how often you need to play that defender, really. Judging by the rest of your defense, probably not that much. So Cash is probably slightly better pick. I can do Rice to Palmer for free with my 1 free transfer. Again, if you can manage game week 31 and the rest of your team's looking solid, then sure, go for it. But if it's not, and you've got problems for 31, I'd probably just use the transfers elsewhere. But it's a huge differential, so I don't mind if anyone wants to go for it. Mane, Ahmad, Rice and Timber to Thiago, Somerville. No. Wrong time to buy Somerville, I think. I mean, selling Timber and getting Gay just feels pretty rubbish to me. I don't think there's enough upgrades there to justify getting Thiago this week. With for 4 free transfers, I don't think that's very good at all. 3 free transfers going early for Rice to Dango or Roll. I'd probably Roll. Who would you bench, Timber or Njai? Probably Timber, just about. Start Timber or Nunes. Timber, Cherky to Semenyo or in Burmo. I'd probably go in Burmo because of game week 31, but Semenyo could outscore him before that. Start two of Maguire, Hill, and Chow. I'd bench Chow. Start Enzo or Harry Wilson. Enzo. Come on, Enzo. Get me some points this week. Be nice if Enzo could get a brace assisted by Caicedo. We'll give Caicedo some points. And then Burnley score 3 times. That's what I would like. Timber or Hill? Timber. Come on, Timber, peoples. Keep the faith. And you may well be rewarded, although probably not this week because that's just the way it seems at the moment with Timber. Will I make a transfer next week? I'm either going to make 2 transfers, 1 transfer, or 0 transfers next week. That's my current plan. Not sure if I should start Senesi and Dewsbury Hall. I have Krupi, Mukiele, and Dallo on the bench. I would probably play Mukiele over Senesi. No, I definitely would play him over Senesi. Less of that. I haven't had anything out of Chalobah. You've had a lot of defensive contributions. Palmer or Enzo. I mean, there's only one choice there, right? Like, if nothing else matters, then Palmer. Thoughts on Rice to Semenyo? It's fine, but you're selling one blanket to buy another one. I think Semenyo's a good, like, my assessment is Semenyo's a good pick. I don't hate anyone that's got a plan to bring him in, but I do think he's also slightly overrated at the moment. That doesn't mean he's bad. You can be good and overrated. That is possible. Okay, would I rather have Semenyo than Rice next 4 weeks? Yes. So if you can manage 31, go for it. Start Van Dijk or Dango Utara. Probably Dango Utara. If you had Palmer and Haaland, who would you captain? Well, hopefully I would captain Palmer, although I'd probably be sat here thinking, do I really want to go against Haaland's ownership? But I'm pretty sure I would captain Palmer. That was part of the reason to think about bringing him in 2 weeks ago, to be honest. It's so annoying I didn't go for that. Although it hasn't worked out that badly. Semenyo is great and correctly rated. No, he's definitely overrated. People talk about him as though he's absolutely essential, and he's clearly not. Play 1, Mukiele, Anderson, Raul Jimenez, Dewsbury Hall. I guess that is KDW. Probably Raul Jimenez. Thoughts on Rodgers as differential captain? Yeah, I just don't like him as a captain. Minutes are good, but no real set pieces or penalties or anything. Although, I mean, he does take some set pieces, direct free kicks, and he might be on penalties, but we don't know it for sure. 4 free transfers, Timber to Van Dijk or Roll. I'd be tempted to Roll. Start 2 of Gay, Cash, Anderson. I would probably bench Anderson. Thoughts on João Pedro? I don't like João Pedro captain over Haaland. Again, as I said earlier, if I owned João Pedro, I would have given it precisely 0 seconds thought about captaining him ahead of Haaland, I think. And that might come back to bite me. When is João Pedro playing today? When is he playing? It's today. So yeah, that's going to be horrible when he scores a hat-trick, but I wouldn't be captaining him. What's the game on TV at 3? Villa versus Leeds. Do you know what? My wife's going to want to watch the rugby. I don't mind that. I don't mind skipping Villa Leeds with no Rodgers. I think the only players I've got at 3 o'clock are Thiago and Enzo. That is it. Could be brutal. Man City playing at 8 o'clock. Why are they not playing at... Oh, no, that does make sense. Okay. Are you confident that Timber's not benched? Again, I'm not willing to sit here and tell you it's impossible that he gets benched because I've got stuff wrong before. But I would be quite surprised if Timber's benched. Any left field captaincy options that jump out? Palmer. I mean, anything that's not Haaland. So like Palmer, like probably in this order: Palmer, Fernandez, Salah, Thiago, something like that. Would you start Calvert-Lewin or Wilson and Mukiele or Anderson? Mukiele and Calvert-Lewin probably. Time to sell round now. Muniz back. Already got Thiago. I don't think you have to rush to do it, but yes, I probably would be moving him on soon because the minutes are going to be not as good. It's a bit annoying if you got Thiago though. It makes the options more difficult, like Ekatike maybe. Bench one of Evan Nielsen, Harry Wilson, Van Dijk, Timber. Van Dijk have triple Arsenal defence and O'Reilly and Anderson start 3. Triple Arsenal defence. Start 3 of Senesi, Anderson, Vandenberg, Anderson. I would bench Elliot. Probably Elliot Anderson. Start Mukiele or Wilson. Start 2 of Gay, Cash, Anderson. I'd bench Anderson. I think I already did that one. Bench one of Enzo, Dewsbury Hall, Thiago, Rice, Ekatike, Dewsbury Hall. Bench one of Van Dijk, Chalobah, Munoz, Gabriel, Van Dijk. Oh my god, there's so many people that are going to have to bench Van Dijk this week. It feels bad. Bench Hill, Brobby, or Anderson from Fulham. Anderson. Start Mukiele or Keane and Zubamendi or Raul Jimenez. Mukiele and Raul Jimenez, I think. Yeah, Elliot Anderson's been really good, but I wouldn't worry too much about benching him this week specifically against Liverpool. João Pedro or Thiago. I mean, this week, João Pedro, although the penalties for Thiago, I did say earlier I would captain Thiago over João Pedro. If I was buying one this week, 100% I'd buy Thiago. Timber versus Anderson. Timber, I think, for me. I'm really tempted to captain Thiago. I've just got a feeling he's going to get a hat-trick. Yeah, probably won't, though. Would you do Rice or Dango? Probably not this week. I'd rather just wait another week at least. Who would you rather have, Wirtz or Van Dijk for the Liverpool fixtures? Do you know what? I'm going to say Van Dijk, and the reason is, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I was going to say because there's a lot of other midfielders, but there's quite a few other defenders. Put it this way, I think I'd rather have Van Dijk and a different midfielder than Wirtz and a cheaper defender. But then again, if it's Wirtz and Joachim Andersen or Van Dijk and Dango, probably Wirtz. So it depends on the other option, to be honest. Got Adley, not ideal. Swap to Tavernier or risk it. Oh, no, I'd risk him. I wouldn't go Tavernier because he's also a risk. Timber versus Dewsbury Hall. Oh, God. My gut feeling is Timber, but I can't remember where I placed him on the... Let me check what I did on my benching headaches yesterday, because that's usually a bit more gut instinct. Yeah, I did have Dewsbury Hall ahead of Timber, so I'll stick to that. Any other mids for Rice instead of Semenyo? I've got Bruno, Rogers, Palmer, and Burmo. Wirtz is probably who I would go for. I mean, what I would actually do is just hold Rice and decide next week. Maybe get Shada or Utara. But Wirtz, if you can afford him. Come on, Andy, captain Bruno with me. I'm just going to captain Haaland. Lacroix to Bournemouth / Timber to Van Dijk roll. I mean, if you can just play Timber and bench Lacroix, I'd probably roll. Otherwise, Lacroix to a Bournemouth defender, yeah. Sell Enzo and Gravenberch and get Palmer. Sure, if you've got lots of free transfers, but otherwise just captain Haaland and save your transfers. One of Mbeumo, Wirtz or Semenyo. I'm on Wildcard. I would go Wirtz. Start Senesi or Vandenberg. Senesi for the guaranteed start, I think. Start Anderson or Timber. Arsenal triple defence until game week 31 viable. Yes. I have João Pedro on my team, who I want to change for Thiago. Should I wait this? Yeah, I wouldn't sell João Pedro this week. Given that bottling season has started, is it really worth having more than just Gabriel? Yeah, it probably is, yeah. I mean, they're still one of the best teams in the league, right? Is triple Liverpool now the move? I don't think it's essential or anything, but it's pretty good. Is it worth using bench boost now with Enzo, Gay, and Alderete on the bench? I mean, if that's your real bench, then yes. And to be fair, usually I would say there's no way you're benching Enzo, but I've already had like two or three questions where people have got a genuine benching headache, and I've actually said to bench Enzo. Like, they've had that good of a squad. So I probably would, yeah. What do I think about Enzo captain over João Pedro? I think you can absolutely justify that. Yeah. He's a midfielder, so extra point for the goal, clean sheet, etc. Stats have been good. If Palmer's off the pitch, Enzo will be on penalties. So, yeah, I think it's viable. I wouldn't captain either of them for what it's worth, but no wildcard. Bench boost to Bravka, Timber, Wilson, Hill. Yes, unless you're going to have a better bench over the next few weeks, which obviously you'd have to look through because your bench changes week to week. How long am I planning to keep in Burmo? Until I wildcard. I've got João Pedro and Thiago. Who should I captain? Haaland, probably. I guess you'd have to captain João Pedro over Thiago because it's Burnley, but I think it's close. Palmer won't even score today. I mean, he might. Bench one of Anderson, Richards, O'Reilly, and Gay. Elliot Anderson, I think. Vice Bruno over Thiago. Yeah. Bench one of Rice, Timber, Wilson. Timber, probably. I've seen no one talk about Thiago captain. Is that just because of Haaland and Chelsea's fixtures? Yeah, pretty much. It's impressive the way you rattle through these questions weekly. Andy GPT. I mean, the thing is, there's tons that I don't answer, right? That's just the unfortunate reality of so many people watching. It's impossible to get to everyone. Although, obviously, a lot of questions are repetitive. So hopefully, by answering someone else's, it kind of helps other people. But start Dallo or Anderson. Anderson. Start Wilson or Thiago. I mean, that's clear Thiago by a mile. Any chance of Brentford leaks? Probably not. Start Hill or Rayan. Rayan if you've got him. Tarkovsky or Senesi. Probably Senesi, I think. Although I feel like I've answered that earlier the other way around. How's the dog? She refused to walk this morning. I don't know why. She did. We got soaked yesterday. That might be why. And it was raining again today, so that might have put her off. She usually she'll walk around the block at least, even if she doesn't want to go like for a longer walk. But today she just refused to even go off the drive. Like, she never refuses to put a harness on and walk out the door. She never, ever refuses that. But once she's out, if she's not feeling it, she'll then tell you. But yeah, basically, there was thunder yesterday when we were out. It didn't really... Thunder doesn't really bother her that much. Like, she takes notice of it. It doesn't, like, scare her, I don't think. And then on the walk back, it just got so dark. And I thought, we're going to get... And it was hailing. I had to, like... The hail, she absolutely hated. I had to like crouch down and try and cover over for like a minute just to just stop her getting hit by it. But yeah. She's fine. She refused to walk this morning. So we'll see if she'll go out later. Ekatike and Rice, Dango and Thiago. Honestly, I hate to sit on the fence. I really don't know how I feel about Ekatike to Thiago. Again, I'd rather have Thiago, so I don't have any doubts about that. But Ekatike just does not feel worth a transfer out. So I'd probably roll. Bournemouth had the 4th worst defence in the league, and West Ham a massive don't start Senesi. I mean, I've got him bench. Although I think he's pretty good this week, but yeah. Found a way to take the hit later in the week. If Tavernier seems like an option, Hill, Tavernier, Ekatike, then 0 free transfer till 32. Yeah, that's the plan, right? That's the plan. The plan is always to roll. She is a retriever of the golden kind. Timber or Mukiele? Timber. Palmer for Bruno, one move if you could, and captain. Nah. In fact, I can do that, by the way. I'm pretty sure I can do Bruno to Palmer. I've got 1.4 in the bank. How much is Palmer? 10.5? Yeah, I can do it. I've got 10.9. No, I'm not going to do it, though. No chance. Start Jimenez or Elliot Anderson. Jimenez, I think. Start Cash or Mukiele. That one's really close. I think I would go Mukiele. Just about. Missing our super chats. Did I though? Did I? I did miss yours. Yeah, sorry. Mane, Timber, and Ahmad to Thiago Cash and a suggested 5.1 and less midfielder to replace Mane's bench role. I mean, Stack is the one that I'd be happy to bench boost soon, but not this week. So it depends when you want to bench boost. But Leeds have got good fixtures 29 onwards. Yeah, probably Stack. Start 1, Nico Williams, Esteve, Baleba. Jesus Christ. I'm checking to see who Forest have got. Oh, Liverpool at home, of course. That's so bad. And Nico Williams, I guess. Baleba, like, he got subbed really early the other day. He was on a card though, wasn't he? I gotta be honest, I've not looked at Baleba from an FPL point of view, like, for a very long time. Is he even hitting DEFCONs? Sometimes. Minutes are pretty bad though. I guess Nico Williams. If you've got a free transfer, I'd be tempted to use one. Start Hill or Elliot Anderson. Hill, Anderson or Wilson to start. Wilson, sell Timber to Van Dijk if you want to, but I think it can wait. Start Krupi or Lefay. Lefay, I think. Captain Rogers or Thiago is a differential. Thiago, play 3 out of these 4. Thiago, Rogers, Sarr, or Enzo. See, that's one of those situations where I'd probably bench Enzo, but it's horrible. I'd consider bench boosting. Timber, Rice, Evan Nielsen to Van Dijk, Dango, Thiago. It's fine, but Timber to Van Dijk and Rice to Dango, I don't think need to happen this week. So Evan Nielsen to Thiago and roll probably, but yes, overall it's fine. Money for Thiago, Pope to Kelleher, or Timber to Van Dijk. Timber to Van Dijk, because Pope's got a pretty good fixture in 31 if you're not free hitting or anything. FPL Tomato, 43 months. You winning FPL this year or waiting until next year to give us mere mortals a chance? I'm not going to win this year. I talked about that earlier, even though it would be nice. Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying stuff. 37 minutes to go, by the way. New to FPL. In the past, could you not roll transfers and only use 1 a week? You could roll, but you could only roll to a maximum of 2. And you couldn't roll those transfers through chips. So if you had 2 free transfers and you wildcarded, you'd only have 1 after the wildcard. And so, like, the way it's set up now does kind of change completely how you play. Like, rolling is just always, if you're not sure what to do, rolling is just always a good option because it leaves you more flexible. Even if you rolled to 3 and then you suddenly thought, God, I need to wildcard, it doesn't matter because you still got the 3 transfers afterwards. Whereas before, like honestly, it didn't happen very often because the reality is you get injuries and suspensions and stuff and you use transfers. But there were scenarios where you'd have to make a transfer to almost make your team worse for that week just to not lose the transfer in the long run. Didn't happen that often, but it was possible. That just doesn't really happen anymore. Captain The Wire or The Sopranos? Do you know what? Never really seen either. No, that's not true. So I've seen bits. Sopranos, actually, I've hardly seen any of, to be honest. I've seen clips and stuff, but hardly seen any. The Wire, I did watch, I think, the first 2 seasons, and I just gave up with it. I do wonder now I'm a bit older if I should try it again. I should probably watch both, really. Lequar out, so Wilson, Anderson, or Senesi. Wilson. Start 1 of Ballard, Krupi, Joachim Anderson, or Raul Jimenez. Probably Raul Jimenez, although he probably will get subbed early, but yeah, I think so. How long am I planning to keep in Burma and Thiago? Until I wildcard? Watkins to Thiago, or Giu, Tarkovsky, and Raya to heal Thiago and Keller for -4. I'd probably just do Watkins to Thiago if you're desperate for him this week. But you could just roll, honestly. Definitely give The Wire another go. It's a big commitment, though, when you've already watched 2 seasons, you know? To then go back and watch it all again. I mean, I've watched Breaking Bad like 2 or 3 times in full. So maybe I should spend some time for The Wire. What's more likely, an Arsenal clean sheet or a Dewsbury Hill return? Probably an Arsenal clean sheet, to be honest. But I still think I mean, it's close. I literally had Dewsbury Hill just ahead of Timber. It was literally Dewsbury Hill, then Timber on bench and headaches. So there's nothing to split them, really. Sopranos is up there with Breaking Bad. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty good, right? I mean, everyone loves it, but I already know the ending. So not that necessarily matters, right? But The Wire is different levels to Breaking Bad. Anyone saying otherwise hasn't watched The Wire. I like this. I mean, I gave it 2 seasons and then just couldn't. I just didn't want to carry on with it. And I know sometimes people say, you know, stuff starts slow. You got to give it a chance. But 2 seasons, is that not enough of a chance? Prison Break, meh, not really that bothered by that. I've seen the first season. Have I watched Ozark? Yes. Bench boost, Mukiele, Hill, Krupi, and Dubravka. No. Dubravka's got a bad fixture. Krupi minutes. Yeah, probably not. Start Rice or Wilson or sell Rice to Verts. I would probably just play Wilson, to be honest with you. How can there be 8,500 people in here but only 900 likes? Great question. Hit the like button, please. Always helps. And do make sure to subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. We're on our way to 500k. We are now 9,770 people off. I have João Pedro, Haaland, Semenyo, Enzo. Who should I captain? Haaland. What about Ozark? What about it? As in, did I like it? Thought it was alright, yeah. Better Call Saul was good, yeah. Really good. I've seen that. The Arsenal defensive ownership is the only reason making me start Timber. I don't see value on Arsenal other than Gabriel. Yeah, but only because they conceded twice to Wolves, right? As I discussed with people earlier, it's just a big overreaction because of the double game. They had 4 clean sheets in the 5 before that. Yes, there's new manager bounce, etc. But I mean, Arsenal defense is still one of the best in the league. They conceded like less than 0.5 xG to Wolves, I think. Timber, Hill, Anderson, and it's not like, but like, and I know Spurs are probably better than their league position, but we're talking about best defense in the league up against the 16th place team in the league. And I know it's a bit different. I know Spurs are probably not the 16th worst team, and I know it's a huge derby, etc. But again, massive overreaction to Arsenal because of what happened against Wolves, essentially. Arsenal's still pretty good. Start Evan Nilsson or Wilson and Dallo or Anderson. Anderson and Evan Nilsson. Start Timber or Anderson. Timber, Dorgu to Hill, Krupi to Thiago. Buy in Burmo, stay with Krupi. I'd rather have Thiago over in Burmo if that's the choice, I think. And also, Dorgu's no good to you anyway. Start 2, Van Dijk, Garner, and Matty Cash. I would bench Garner. Timber, Hill, Anderson. Please, could you pick 2 out of these 4 to start? 1, 2, 3, there's 5. I would start Timber and Dewsbury Hall probably. Who do I start? Who's your bench? Dubravka, Krupi, Hill, Timber. I would probably play Timber ahead of Gay. Otherwise, the rest of the team looks pretty good to me. I never wanted. If you had Semenya, would you captain him instead of Haaland? No. Wouldn't even consider it, to be honest with you. Even though I know Semenya's outscored him since he joined. Haven't had any other Arsenal than Gabriel all season. Cheaper defenders with defensive contributions are more value. Yeah, but you're not discussing value, are you? You're discussing who to start. Timber's the second highest scoring defender in the game. I mean, he's joint with Gay and Chalobah, but he's still the second highest scoring defender in the game. And like, you're not discussing whether to sell him, you're discussing whether to start him. So value doesn't matter, right? Play Thiago or Enzo? Probably Thiago. WWE FPL, are you taking Undertaker or Mankind? I mean, wasn't Undertaker undefeated for like ages or something at WrestleMania? So probably Undertaker, but Mankind is a cool guy. Jumps off cages and stuff. Would you start Bowen or Krupi? I mean, Bowen by a mile. Or should I just sell Bowen to Thiago and start him or roll and get a TK? I would roll and then just buy Thiago next week, probably, in most cases. I'll hit like if you tell me who to start between Cunha or Dewsbury Hall. Bruno G to Utara plus Guiu to Thiago, Timber to Hill. Bruno G out makes sense. Guiu to Thiago is good. Timber to Hill, I guess, if you have to do it to fund the rest. If you weren't a Man United fan, you'd definitely be an Arsenal fan. I mean, I've been told I'm a Liverpool fan before because I've had Salah in my team. I mean, like Arsenal were just good. Like I'm not one to like over like some of the stuff after the Wolves game is just crazy. Now, obviously, they've weakened their position. Obviously, the pressure starts to build now, and there's kind of a bit of it's a bit similar to like before when they've looked like they could do well and then it's gone downhill. But like they're still the best team in the league. Does that mean they'll definitely keep a clean sheet this week? Of course not. Of course not. Want to roll to 3 free transfers ideally. Would you start Lacroix and hope he's fit, Collins and hope he starts, or Senesi or make a transfer? I think Senesi's fine, by the way, so you don't need to make a transfer. I think starting Lacroix is probably quite safe because I suspect he's either not in the squad or he'll just start. So I'd probably go Lacroix, Senesi, then Collins. Start one out of Senesi, Harry Wilson, Krupi, and Alderete. Harry Wilson, start Senesi or Anderson. Anderson, start Timber or Hill. Timber, and also start Gabriel and Raya. Nice. Gabriel, Chalobah, Mukiele, and Timber. Bench one or go 4 at the back. Well, whether you go 4 at the back depends on who you'd have to bench from your attack. But I would bench Mukiele out of those. Bench. Oh. Buy free transfers. Thoughts on Rice to Salah, Kukurea to Hill, Harden to Thiago, and Calvert to João Pedro for 1 week, then to Ekitike. I don't think I'd bother with the João Pedro move. The rest seems okay if you're willing to take Haaland on. But again, I think Haaland is better than Salah this week. So you not just make one move and then just still have 5 next week. Bench one of Rice, Rogers, Enzo, Bruno, or Semenyo. Oh, God. Actually, probably Rice, I would say. 2 free transfers, Rice and Mane to Danga and Thiago, or Rice to Verts. I think I'd prefer to get Thiago, to be honest. Rogers or Verts for Cunha this week. I would buy Verts. God, I of all the times I've recommended Verts, I better buy him next week. Start Anderson or Mukiele. Are you sure that Haaland will be playing? I mean, I'm quietly confident, I guess. Pep nodded his head when he was asked if he was fully fit, so yeah. Yeah, I've already answered the Anderson Mukiele one. Start Timber or Gay. Timber, best Cherky replacement. Armour? Salah? Fernandez? How much money you got to spend? Probably more realistically, like Verts, maybe something like that. Yeah, Monday should be Monday should be good because I'm gonna hopefully by the time this is always the dream, right? Going into Monday Night Football with 2 players, hopefully already on a green arrow. That would be nice. And then watch Man United beat Everton, hopefully. Play Evan Nielsen or Dewsbury Hall. Evan Nielsen. Any team leaks not that I've seen. Bench Cash or Gay. Gay, I think. Best Bruno G replacement. Again, it depends how much money you got to spend, but probably Verts in and around that price point, I would say. Starting Watkins, Maguire, or Senesi. Watkins did Wilson to Ryan. Bench 1. Virgil, Mukiele, Ryan. Probably Mukiele. Anderson versus Raul Jimenez. I would start Raul Jimenez. 30 months, by the way. Thank you. Would you captain João Pedro over Haaland? Nope. Start Anderson, Forrest, or Njai. What's your thoughts on captain Strand Larson? Again, wouldn't even be in my top 5, to be honest. I think there's a lot of that is just based on because he did well last week, right? Why Anderson over Senesi? Just more chance of a clean sheet. The reality is they probably both concede, but I think Fulham got a slightly better chance. Worth selling Enzo for Semenyo? Probably not, to be honest, when Enzo's got Burnley at home. Play 2 of Tarkowski, Mukiele, Richards, or Wilson. I would play Wilson and Mukiele. Richards or Senesi, given Lacroix might be out. I think I'd still start Richards, but yeah, I'd probably still start Richards. It is quite close, though. Does the Gordon Hall earlier this week in the Champions League make any difference for FPL? Not really. The fixtures are not amazing for Newcastle. And also, Gordon does tend to get like subbed early-ish in some games. I mean, when we get to game week 31, if you're looking for a 1-week punt before wildcard, then Gordon against Sunderland at home, definitely an option, but I'm not sure if I'd buy him before that, to be honest. Start Gay, Hill, or Richards against Wolves. Richards, I think. You'll start Timber and hope he's benched and Dewsbury Hall's or in that case, just start Dewsbury Hall. You're obviously not keen on Timber, so just don't play him. Like, what's the issue? And also, if Timber does get benched, the chances are he probably comes on. So just consider that as well. Rumours Semenyo's bench again, right? Where I'm not saying it's not possible because he's a Man City midfielder, right? Where rumours from where? I still don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's not true, but people keep saying there's rumours. But where are the rumours from? I still don't know after like an hour of asking. Do I start Wilson or Elliot Anderson? I mean, I would start Semenyo until we get more info. If you have to start one of the other 2, Wilson, start one out of these 3, Rayan, Timber, Mukiele. I mean, if you've got Rayan, I think you've got to play him. Evan Nielsen, Senesi, Mane, Mukiele, start 1. Evan Nielsen, probably. Start Garner or Stack. Probably Garner, just because Stack's not guaranteed to start this week, but he should be good from next week onwards for sure. I have Palmer and João Pedro. Who should I trust with captain? Palmer. Nice job on the FPL show. Thank you very much. When people are so reluctant to say that where they heard something, it's probably rubbish. That's my kind of feeling as well. I mean, I'd love it if Semenyo is benched because, I mean, part of the reason to not buy him is in case at some point his minutes go down, right? But I don't think he will be, unfortunately. As always, Man City players, they're nailed until they're not. But I suspect he's fine. Congrats on the great season. Thank you. Croupy or Dewsbury Hall? I'm an Everton fan. Dewsbury Hall. Hall/Minte bench. Jack is starting. 2 free transfers, roll or use. Jack is back, so he's okay to start, I think. Like, it's fine to make an upgrade if you've got money. Like, Minte's just no good. So, like, if you've got money to do Minte up to like a Verts or a Dangu Tar or someone to bench Xhaka, I think that's fine. But Xhaka should start. So if you're not sure what to do, just roll. In Burma to Rogers or Anderson. Or Anderson to Hill. No, I wouldn't do Anderson to Hill. I think Anderson, as long as he stays fit, is really good right up until 31. I also just wouldn't take a -4. I wouldn't buy Strand Larson. And I probably wouldn't take a -4 for Enzo. I'd roll. Honestly, I don't think in Burma to Rogers is worth it to do Raul Jimenez to Thiago. So I'd rather for a -4. I'd roll and just think about it next week. Start Wilson or Rice. But if you have to do one of those moves, honestly, I think they're both quite horrible. So I'm not sure which downgrade I like, to be honest. I'd probably do in Burma to Rogers if you have to. Start Wilson or Rice. Wilson. Already used my wildcard and triple captain. How shall I play? You're going to have to just roll as many transfers as possible, wait for as much information as possible, then start making decisions. Unfortunately, I can't really tell you right now because we don't know what's going to happen with the double and blanks after game week 31. Yeah, but you've used triple captain. Don't worry about it. Roll as much as you can ahead of 31 and just gather more info. Probably don't buy players from City, Arsenal, and Palace. Start Timber, Vandenberg, or Croupy. Timber, 29 months. Thank you. Why bench Senesi over Anderson? I just think Anderson's more likely to get a clean sheet. Rice or Gabriel? Gabriel. Imbermo to Enzo to fund Thiago for a -4. Nope. I just wouldn't take a -4 for it. And Enzo's good this week, but then he's pretty rubbish. Have Raya and Gabriel start Saliba or Wilson? Wilson, I think, yeah. Answering questions got a whole lot easier when the 5 free transfers came in. Just roll. Yes and no. I guess when, like, in some ways it was easier just to say make that move before because you couldn't roll more than 2. So sort of 2 free transfers: roll and bench Timber or Timber to Minoz. I mean, probably roll and play Timber, but it depends on the rest of your defense. I wouldn't do Timber to Minoz. Bench one of Timber, Cash or Rice. Probably Cash. At the end, I transferred Raya/Rice for Rogers Martinez. What do you think? It's okay. I wouldn't have done it, but it's done now. How old am I? I am super old. I'm so old I can't remember how old I am. Why is João Pedro not captain but Brout Haaland? Just Haaland's better than João Pedro. Penalties, better goal threat. Play one, Timber, Croupy. I mean, obviously João Pedro's got a better fixture, but I don't think it outweighs how good Haaland is. Play one, Timber, Croupy or Madueke. I don't know if Madueke will start, so Timber. Haaland or João Pedro captain. Haaland. Timber, Hill, Gay. I'm laughing because I just answered that. Timber, Hill, Gay, and Mukiele. Which 2 to start? Timber and Mukiele, probably. Somehow Timber has higher expected goals per 90 than Dewsbury. Yeah, Timber's attacking stats this season have been pretty good. Yeah, it's almost like flip a coin. I mean, I'd be tempted if you're already on I can't remember how many Arsenal you've got. I'd be tempted to go all in on it though. Okay, JH_FPL says that Semenyo is benched. Surprise, surprise, I've got that account blocked. So chances are they just talk nonsense. And again, they might be right this time, potentially. But given that I've got them blocked, that means they've been wrong previously. And they probably delete anything that's not correct, basically. So, yeah. Again, I'm not saying that Semenyo can't be benched, right? He's a Man City player, but I wouldn't base it on an account that I've got blocked. That's what I would say. Oh, I've lost where I got up to. Oh, play one, Timber Creep. Oh, no, I did that one. Timber Hill, Gay, and Mukiele. Timber and Mukiele. Thoughts on Palmer triple captain? I'd probably save it for a double game week, but if you're going to use it in a single game week, this is as good as differential as you're going to get, I would say. Already used wildcard, 3 free transfers. Currently, team is looking good. Which week would be best for free hit to deal with the upcoming blanks doubles? 33 or 34? Which week will depend on how the doubles and blanks fall. Like, we know there's going to be blanks in 34. We know most of those blanks will probably go into 33 as doubles, but none of it's guaranteed. We don't know which teams are going to blank, which teams are going to double. So having a free hit for them will be useful. I wouldn't use it in 31, especially if you've already used your wild card. In fact, I would absolutely urge people to not free hit in 31 if they've used their wild card already. Dewsbury Hall or Douglas Luiz? I think because of the fixtures and because there's a chance Douglas Luiz is on penalties, you could argue he's the better option, but it's not guaranteed he's on penalties. That's all I would say. Dewsbury Hall's fixtures are just not that great, but then Villa do have to play Chelsea. The thing is, Douglas Luiz is not as good for defensive contributions as you'd probably think. I'm going to say Douglas Luiz and take a punt on the penalties, but I actually think Stack from 29 might be the best of the lot. Start Bowen or Wilson. Bowen. Start Timber, Mukiele or Harry Wilson. Probably Harry Wilson just about, but Timber's also pretty good. Probably Harry Wilson. Are there definitely going to be more double game weeks? There'll definitely be doubles in 33. I just don't know how many and who yet. City blank in 31. When do they double? Don't know yet. Honestly. Free transfers pretty much the same team as you. Suggestions? Roll, probably. Unless there's something else you want to do. Downgrade Timber Rice to do Thiago in. Don't hate it. Depends who you're selling. Darlow, Cash, Mukiele, Stat, Bench Boost. Still all chips. I'd probably save it. I think. It's not bad. It's really not a bad bench boost. So I'd probably save it. Bench 2. Timber, Gabriel, Cash, Senesi, or Gay. Bench 2. Senesi and Gay, probably. I'm going to get... Honestly, I can already pick... As soon as Arsenal concede, there's going to be so many comments on this deadline stream. You said this about Timber. You said... I just think Timber's quite good still. I think people are panicking, that's all. Again, how is Haaland better than João Pedro? Penalties, better goal threat, better minutes probably as well. Bench order, like again, João Pedro's not... Maybe he just about makes the top 5, but I actually think you could argue Enzo's better than João Pedro. What people are trying to say is João Pedro's won 3 assists in the last 2 games. Why is he not? Why are you saying that Haaland's a better captain? Basically... bench order, Van Heck, Stack. Essentially, I don't think João Pedro is going to keep winning an average of 1.5 penalties a game. That's my thing. Bench order, Van Heck, Stack, Collins. I would say... Oh, God. Stack might not start. Collins might not start. So I guess Van Heck's got to be first. And then Stack, then Collins. Probably. I do think Stack will start, but it's not a guarantee. But 3 to 4 transfers should you get Palmer 350k rank. I'd be tempted if you can then chain it on. Yeah. Start Senesi or Hill. Senesi. SL plays. Thank you. You remember? Start Elliot Anderson or Chow. Probably Elliot Anderson. Gay, Mukiele, and Dewsbury Hall start 2, bench 1. I'd probably bench Gay out of those. Thoughts on Munoz captain? I definitely wouldn't. Will I issue an apology if Timber's benched? Yeah, I'll issue an apology to absolutely no one if he's benched. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm making a prediction. I will get stuff wrong. I'm human. People are just panicking as always about Timber, and because he didn't do right. Like, put it like. If Arsenal had won that 2-1, do you think so many people would have commented about Timber looking tired? They wouldn't have, because they drew and because they dropped points and because they're not happy now. Well, Timber looked pretty tired. Now I'm not saying he's not tired. I'm just saying people would not have pointed that out as much. So I said earlier on, there is a chance Timber gets benched, but I think that chance is minimal because it's a huge game against Spurs. Timber's been way ahead of Ben White all season. I just think Timber starts. I think that's the most likely outcome. Is it 100% guaranteed like Bruno Fernandes or Van Dijk? No. Absolutely not. So no, I won't be apologising for making a prediction. You're most people watching this are grown adults. If you want to bench Timber, bench him or sell him. You know, it's your team. You can do what you want. You don't have to listen to me. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to win FPL this year. He looked really tired when they were 2-1 up. I'm sure he is tired. He's played a lot of minutes. I just don't think he's going to get benched, but he could. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Where am I? I don't know. Have 4 free transfers in Burma to Vert is worth it. Probably not. Start Evan Nilsson or Mukiele. Evan Nilsson, bench 2, Munoz, Chalobah, Mukiele, Cash, O'Reilly, and Mukiele probably. Downgrade Timber to fund Thiago this week for free. I don't hate it. Yeah, but I don't think there's a necessity to get Thiago this week necessarily. Cash, Rogers, Cavalier on the bench, worth a bench boost. If that's your realistic bench, yes. Bench 2, Timber, Rice, Chalobah, Dewsbury Hall. Oh, God. Timber and Dewsbury Hall, I think. Do you get an age breakdown of your viewers? Yes. If João Pedro stops winning penalties, Palmer expected points goes down the... Yeah, 100%. Although he should have scored a goal at the end of the last game, right? Like from open play as well. But yes, true. Need to upgrade Raul Jimenez to Thiago from -4. You don't have to, by the way. Who to downgrade to fund? Timber to Cash, Manny to a non-playing 4.2. Timber to Cash, I think. I wouldn't do a -4 for it. Is it too early to start making early transfers thinking about game week 31? I like selling some Arsenal, Palace, City. Currently have half of my players from them. Well, yes, if they're an upgrade for the week you're selling them. Right? If they're not, you just keep them. Like if you're not on 5 transfers, there's no harm in rolling, right? So if you've got Semenyo, for example, then he's pretty good this week, so you wouldn't sell him. So you could just roll the transfer and do it closer to 31. Does that make sense? Bench Senesi or Mukiele. Senesi, or start both and bench Kroupy. I'd bench Kroupy. I do, for what it's worth, I do think Kroupy will start, but again, I can't be 100% sure about that, and he definitely gets subbed early, because he always does. He probably starts, but yeah. Going no Haaland for the rest of the season. Yeah, what if he doubles in 33 and 36? Next week, Palmer out, Dango in, Calafiori out, opinions between Frimpong for differential. I would just go Van Dijk. Frimpong, a little bit of an issue staying fit. Kroupy out, Ekitike or Thiago. Thiago. Just over 10 minutes left, by the way. I think you underrate Kroupy a lot. I think he's a good pick as long as he keeps starting. I think there's a debate about whether he keeps starting like every game, given that he literally didn't start the last game. I think he will start, but there's doubts there. And he's obviously a good option, but he's not going to keep scoring on limited minutes. Or maybe he will. Timber to Van Dijk. I think it's fine, but I don't think you have to do it this week, is my general thought. Team news. There hasn't really been any early team news so far. Matthew, new member, thank you. Doesn't your point against João Pedro contradict your point for Palmer? Yeah, but I don't think Palmer's only penalties. It's just one benefit to him. And by the way, someone else can win a penalty. It doesn't have to be João Pedro. But yeah, I mean, like this is what I was saying earlier about selling Fernandes to Palmer. Like, it's just chasing points. Have I been following the Winter Olympics? Not really. I've seen some of it, but not a whole lot. Timber to Hill and Wilson to Semenyo. I probably wouldn't use 2 free transfers on that. I don't think. No. Delakatiki to get Palmer captain. Verts. Not sure what. I wouldn't sell Ekitike to get Verts. Selling Ekitike to Palmer, I probably wouldn't do it. I would just captain someone else. 1 free transfer, Timber to Van Dijk or Rice to Verts or roll. I'd probably roll for now. You can do either of those moves next week. Decent bench boost. Sarr, Anderson, Cash, Mukiele. I don't. If you've got your wildcard left, I definitely wouldn't use it on that. If you have used your wildcard, maybe, but I still don't love it. 100% of Timber's attack and returns have come at home. Maybe he's due in a away return. Dubravka, Hill, Mane, Cavalier on the bench. Should I bench boost? Probably not, to be honest. It's okay, but nothing more than that. Yeah, please stop with the Harden hasn't travelled. He's playing at home. Like, it's such a terrible joke. Come on, you can do better than that. You can be more original than that. Bench Cash or Timber? Cash. Gabriel and Van Dijk already starting. Nice, 28 months, by the way. Thank you. Would you do Timber to Van Dijk? I'd probably roll. Timber Mane is fine, but I'd probably roll. Timber Mane and Semenya to Cash, Thiago and Stack. Kind of nervous over the blocked accounts. I mean, I'm pretty confident Semenya will start. I wouldn't base anything based on that account. Put it that way. And again, I'm not saying that Semenya can't be benched. He's a Man City player after all, but I wouldn't base it off of an account I've got blocked. Do I start Creepy over Mukiele? Probably not for me. Rogers, Rogue, Captain Punt. I don't love it, to be honest, but sure, if you want to take a massive punt. Has anyone won FPL from Australia? I think so, but I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sure someone has, like 5-6 years ago or something. If I'm pretty certain that a guy from Australia has won it. Pretty sure. Would you play Timber as part of triple defense or play Elliot Anderson? I'd play Timber over Anderson. Rice, Brobby, bench 2. Chalobah, Alderete, Gay, Anderson, Gabriel. I'll start one, Rice or Brobby. Probably. I start Brobby, I think. Differential as well. Bench 2, Chalobah, Alderete, Gay, Anderson, Gabriel. I'd definitely play Gabriel and Chalobah. I mean, there's no question there, right? And then I'd probably play Alderete, I think. Start 1, Hill, Timber or Gay. Timber. Start 1, Wilson, Hill or Imbermo. Chip strategy. Just wait, really. Wait until 31's done, then see. Start Evan Nielsen, Cunha, Njai or Rice. How many? Okay, let's say you need to bench one of them. I would probably bench Cunha begrudgingly, I think. Start Alderete or Creepy Alderete. Konza or Alderete. Cunha to Verts, no Burma yet, but have Bruno. I don't hate that, Cunha to Verts, because Cunha does get subbed early. We'll love to see you do one extra video per week that analyzes the top ranked manager's performance. I don't think it would be a very popular video. Can you remember why you blocked that account? I mean, I've got thousands of accounts blocked, so not really. But the fact they're a leaker tells me they're just a rubbish leaker. That's probably why I benched them. When do you predict the double game week with City and Palace? Probably in 33 or 36, but that will probably be based on whether Man City have another game to rearrange. It could also go back into 31. Start 1, Anderson or Lafay. I'm going to say Lafay. Start Anderson or Garner. Anderson, I think. Spurs will score. North London Derby is one of the highest scoring games in the Premier League. Yeah, they could score, for sure. No free transfers left. Bowen to Thiago worth a -4. Absolutely not, in my opinion. Rice is Semenya or Roll. Roll, start Elf, Alderete or Saliba. Saliba. Even though someone's just told me that Spurs are going to score. I mean, Spurs will probably score. How hot are you on Timber? I mean, I'm not really worried about it now the double's gone, to be honest. I think he's still a good pick, but if I haven't sold Raya to Timber at this point, I'm never going to do it, right? Do I just punt Raya to Kelleher? Probably not. I mean, if you were needing a new goalkeeper, Kelleher is who I would buy, but just keep Raya probably. How many points do I think I'll score this week? Then I'm not that. I think the team looks pretty good, but I'm still not confident for some reason. So, can it hit 60 plus? I mean, we know Spurs are scoring at least 3 goals, so Raya and Gabriel are no good. Van Dijk's probably not going to get another 17-pointer. 59? I don't know. Maybe just over 60. I think it's a pretty good team. Do you know much about Igor Tudor? Tudor? I know nothing about him. Honestly, I never even heard of the guy, I don't think, until he joined Spurs. Do you watch Bunch of Amateurs? No idea what that is, so probably not. Harry Wilson or Mukiele? Harry Wilson. Bench 1 between Mukiele, Cash or Gabriel. I would bench Mukiele, I think. Triple captain Palmer. I would wait for a double, but sure. If you want to go differential, go for it. Bench 3 of Wilson, Evan Nielsen, Richards, Alderete, Tarkovsky. Bench 3. Okay, which 3 would I play? Evan Nielsen, Wilson, and Richards probably. Play Sanchez or Keller. Sanchez. Why does no one even ask about Thiago captain? They have, to be fair. Thoughts on Stranger Things? Never seen it. Never likely to watch it either. Do you know why they didn't bring the assistant manager chip back and why people don't like it? It was just a bit convoluted. It blocks you from using any other chips for 3 weeks. So, like, one of my mates, for example, got to a blank game week and couldn't free hit because they had their assistant manager active. Yeah, Rice to Verts this week. I think you can roll, but it's okay if you want to do it. Rice to Sabosly and Evan Nielsen to Ekatike. Is that worth 2 transfers this week? I don't think so, honestly. Like, it's fine because you're getting rid of, Blank is in 31, but I probably wouldn't do it. Am I tempted to captain João Pedro? What's your opinion? Look, there's lots of people that want to captain him, so I would go for it. Go for it if you're keen, but not for me. I don't think he's better than Haaland. Kieran, 40 months. Thank you. Start Wilson or Alderete? Wilson. I'm basically backing Wilson over the Sunderland defence. Hopefully it comes off for people. Bench 2, Wilson, Anderson, O'Reilly, Senesi. Wilson, Anderson, O'Reilly, Senesi. Bench 2. O'Reilly and Senesi probably just about. You said on the fantasy show you were going to captain Bruno only if Haaland wasn't fit, which I think was the question. Am I locking in for WoW Midnight next week? Yes. I will probably make my final thoughts video on Friday and then just play it for the rest of the day. I actually, do you know what? I downloaded the game last night. Shout out to Craig, one of my friends. I put a message in the group chat. I was like, I want this style of game. I basically wanted like one of those, I don't know, I think they're called shoot 'em ups. I think they call them. And he told me to download Ball Times Pit or Ball X Pit or something like that. And yeah, put like 3 hours into it last night. You should stream WoW. It's probably not going to happen, to be honest. I've tried it before. Who would you bench? Timber, Rice, or Alderete? Probably Alderete out of those. DayZ not appealing anymore. That's a long time since I played that. Rice to Verts or Semenyo? Verts. Bench 1, Krupi, Sharda, Hatto. Oh, no, hang on. Who's likely to start left back? I said Hatto straight away because I thought he's not going to start, but he probably will, won't he? Yeah, I think you've got to start him but yeah, Krupi I'd bench out of those. Yeah. Bench 1, Rice, Dewsbury Hall, Cash, Mukiele. Mukiele. 15 seconds to the deadline, by the way. Have you played Into the Gungeon? No, but I looked at that before I downloaded this Ball Times Pit. Yeah, I liked it. Because I got into that, just one more run. So that tells me it was quite a good game. We are locked in. We're locked in. I knew that was going to be a nice calm stream. For you, back to 2 free transfers. It's horrible being on 1. There we go, locked in. Before you all run off, do make sure to give the stream a like and hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 500k. We're currently on 490,321. Yeah. My team is 90% the same as you, and I don't copy content creators. Is it just a bias towards the template? I mean, good picks are good picks, right? There's always going to be some kind of template. There's no way to get rid of the template. No way at all. You do realize your countdown counter is wrong. No, don't think it is. What do you think about a chip that auto fields your best scoring 11? I think it's pretty rubbish. Like, basically, everyone would just save it for a double game week, right? Like, I mean, to be fair, we do that with most chips, so that's not a reason not to do it, but it does feel a bit rubbish. Regret benching Timber here, but couldn't get him in. That's fine. Will Smith. Okay. Will there be a deadline stream? Probably, yeah. Was there any leaks? Nope. Not any good ones anyway. I mean, I hope the leak about Semenyo is correct, but it's from an account I got blocked, so it's probably not. Yes, Haaland's not travelled to St James Park. That's great. Come on. You got to be more original than that. Bull Pit is brilliant. It's really good, yeah. Will I refollow that account with Semenyo's bench? No. What, because they get one thing right? Am I staying on till the 3 p.m. lineups? Is there anything interesting? I guess Sharda. What's my class in? Wow, I haven't decided yet what to play, to be honest. We'll see. I always say that, and then I always just end up... basically, I always level my mage first, and then I always straight away level something else to play. I like playing healers. Adam Levy from Australia. There you go. I knew someone from Australia who won it. Yeah, City are at home. That's the joke. I think I've seen about 20 or 30 people put that joke in. Do you think we'll win against Everton on Monday? It'd be a difficult game, but yeah, definitely potential for that. How far am I off number one points wise? Not sure, but too much to win it, unfortunately. Right, I'm not going to stay until the lineups, to be honest with you. But thank you for watching. Do make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Good luck if... Well, just good luck. I don't know what I was going to say there. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow night at like 6:30, I think. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, it's New Zealand, was it? Oh, sorry. Oh God, that's a bad thing to say. My bad. Sorry. Do people from New Zealand get annoyed if you say Australia when it's actually New Zealand? Is that a thing? Now I want to see whether people are annoyed that I thought he was from Australia when it was actually New Zealand. Although I guess a lot of people from that side of the world are probably asleep. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Even though I've said that like 5 times now. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll... Okay, I apologise. He's from New Zealand, apparently. FPL changed their line to after team sheets. Yeah, lots of people want that. I don't think they'll ever do it, but we'll see. Right. Goodbye. Love New Zealand. See you later. Love Australia too. Bye.